I don't think you guys heard it, but I had this little clip that I put in the feed there. This weird laugh that I thought was gonna be a little Halloween-esque, which is a word I just made up on the spot, anyways. Hey, welcome, buddy. Rum and Coke Night, Spooky Halloween Edition. People may remember back in the day, I actually was doing hangouts every Halloween. It was like a thing we did for a lot of years, but that kind of fell by the wayside. So this is actually something we brought back just for the fact that Landon wanted to have a rum and Coke night. And of course, like women in his life, nobody can say no to Landon. So I was like, okay, let's just do it on Halloween. And now here we are. So we're going to be talking about Halloween stories and ghost stories. And I guess we got some nuclear Halloween stuff coming up. People are going to be joining throughout the night. And I got the link on various places. And so if you have access to those places, come on in. You don't need an invite. But if you want an invite and you don't know where those access points are, contact me and I'll give you the link to come in. But anyways, first, Landon, happy Halloween. Yay! Halloween. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did he mute? He muted. I don't hear him.
Sorry.
There we go. Yeah, that wasn't on my end.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone, latitude, and your visual acuity. You might notice that I have some shades on. That is not. I mean, this is rum and Coke night, and my eyes are quite dilated, but they're not because of Coke from the cocaine. They're because I had my the detailed eye exam where they actually gave me these super dilation drops. So it actually is quite brilliant. The glow I'm getting off the screen of seeing Steve is almost blinding, right? So
do you notice though he didn't deny taking cocaine? He just said that the cause of his dilation of his eyes wasn't caused by the cocaine. Just throw that out there. He did not deny. He didn't say I didn't take cocaine and my eyes are dilated or anything like that. So
actually to make sure there's a legitimate rum and Coke night, I actually have Coke it was bought from a couple months ago, and there are these cute little cans of this viable stuff. Although I'm not, it's viable because it's not that I'm a Pepsi fan, because Pepsi I think is worse. It's just that well, that's the smallest I could get. So I will have rum, Bacardi thing, and Coke before switching over to good wine, and we'll have good wine discussion.
I happen to like Pepsi better than Coke, but in drinks I prefer Coke. So Coke is actually made to be a mixer drink more than Pepsi is. But I am drinking.
Pepsi.
What? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Pepsi is literally just all sugar. It's way.
Yeah, and I'm not a big sugar fan, but if I'm going to drink a soda, I really do like Pepsi. Although I did buy some in preparation. I was going to have one of these the other night, and I bought some Pepsi Max Zero, sugar-free. Very good. I liked it. It was actually delicious, but I drank the whole 2 liter in a matter of a couple days. But anyways, I am drinking the Glenlivet 12 single malt Scotch whiskey tonight, double oak. This was a gift from the one and only God's Auditor. He also got me a glass and some. Look at that. These are whiskey rocks.
Oh,
is that badass or what?
You're doing it right.
I am doing it right tonight.
The first thing to do is to take a cube that's going to melt, and yeah, it's a cube.
Yeah, it's watered down. I've been had those in the freezer all day today. So, and what it does is chills the Scotch.
Hats off to you, sir.
Delicious. And delicious. I didn't use all the cubes, so I got more for my next class. But thank you, God's Auditor, for that.
Not a problem, man.
Awesome, dude. So, want to see who's in here real quick. Vanilla Coke's good too, by the way. Yeah, Sean says vanilla. I like vanilla Coke. But anyways, looks like we got Stuart in here. We got Nikki in here. We got Brandon in here. We're waiting for Jim Majors to show up because people want to write his mustache. I mean, like see his mustache.
Yes.
So
I was all over that the other day.
You were all over his mustache?
If you literally just like read the chat, I'm in there like, oh, look at him, he's so handsome. I was on that.
You got a crush on him, we get it.
Everybody has a crush on Jim.
I don't judge. Okay? Yeah, no, it's cool.
Come on.
It's not my type, you know.
Come on.
He's not. If I was to go gay, Jim would not be my first person. I'm not kidding. I probably would pick Mikey more than Jim.
He is. He's looking gaunt though. I want to go make him dinner.
Oh, yeah, he needs to eat. Well, he's been sick. Or he wasn't sick, but he had some issues, I guess. People know about. So
he was sick. I mean,
he was sick.
Yeah.
He got better.
He had a scare.
He didn't die.
Oh. I cried the whole time.
Oh. It was just a mild myocardial infarction due to, I think, viral bacteria. He was saying, and that was live, so he put that out there. It's not like I'm doxing his medical stuff, because again, people who talk about people's medical stuff is pretty shitty people. But anyways, Cheshire's trying to get in here, I think. Cheshire. So let's dive into this real quick. I want to get this party started because I want to have some fun tonight, because there's been so much crap been going on the last couple weeks, so we got to have the fun rum and coke night. I do want to hear about the nuclear spooky stuff, but Landon, first, what's been going on with you? Or do you want to just dive into your spooky story? Because I'm curious now.
Well, do you want a spooky story or the YouTube story or the Brexit story or what?
Oh my gosh, there's so much to discuss. Surprise us, Landon.
Okay. Well, so my spooky story for nuclear stuff was actually, it occurred on Halloween, and it was a case where I was at a facility where we had a non-trivial amount of radium. Won't say which isotope, but a non-trivial amount of radium, and it turned out that we were actually was short of. So if you think, let's say for example, if it was just slightly under a kilogram, we wanted to be able to have expand it to that next sort of unit, right? It was a non-trivial amount, and so it was a case where if you know about radium, it's highly radioactive, and so the spooky thing was to then turn off the lights and while we're behind a shield to see basically the glow of the thing coming from the radium pot. It was actually quite hot, right? The radium actually got to the point where it was, given the amount of material there, it was in a not quite solid state, right? Of stuff. It was actually quite hot, and you could see the radiation coming from the place where the radium was located, and you could see even the fact that it was changing, like the index refraction of the air. You could see the because there was so much radiation coming out of the pot that it was definitely glow in the dark, and you got that really spooky sort of
you have the thermal effects
from the air. Yeah, which
heat,
was
okay.
just and also the changing in refraction. It was actually quite an impressive bit of stuff. But when we measured it, it was like 99.8% of this unit size, and so we actually hunted around and found another 0.02% at it, so we could say there's a big blob of radium. But it is a nice emitter, and it really does cause the air to glow around it. It's quite impressive, and that was on Halloween.
Yeah, for people who don't know, radium is what they used to put in watches to make it glow. They didn't really seem to realize that it was gamma radiation but they didn't seem to care. But if I'm correct, if I'm wrong, Marie Curie actually worked with a lot of radium, and that's actually what actually killed her the most. She was exposed to an awful lot of radiation from radium. It is a very energetic isotope, radium 236, 226, 228, a couple different isotopes, if I remember. But it's also on the decay chain, if I remember correctly, from uranium 238. When we started talking about plutonium halos, it has and
it's a decay from thorium.
From a thorium chain, and then you also have radon, and then it eventually goes to lead. And some other isotopes in there, but radiation's bad. But if you have enough of something in one compact space, you have thermal effects. It literally gets hot because it's radiation. This is what a lot of the spacecraft utilizes from. I think it's what's the isotope they use in spacecraft? Is it American?
Well, one of the things that's on it is plutonium 238.
Yeah, I think I remember they use plutonium 238, but there's another one that they use.
Americium also.
Americium, thank you, americium.
Yeah.
But they're used because they're not like a nuclear reactor on a spacecraft. It actually is just the heat coming off of these radioactive isotopes.
Yeah, and so it is a case. Radium is an alpha emitter. And what we were doing was right? I think it's okay to say that one of the things we were doing because of that radium was to generate radon, right? And so when radium decays as an alpha emitter, you get radon, and radon is one of the noble gases.
That was a gamma
And
emitter.
so-
Well,
yeah,
is it?
yeah.
It depends. I guess it's just your isotope. I'm gonna have to look.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, because I have to look this up because it depends on whatever your isotope is going to be a gamma or alpha emitter. And I gotta. Now I'm
But
curious. I don't
radium
want to
is
give out
just-
wrong information here.
Radium is a base, the common isotopes, except for some of the weird. There are some beta things that are, but the longer lived isotopes.
Oh, it is alpha. Yeah.
Are alpha is alpha decay,
Yeah.
and so when you lose an alpha from radium, you get radon. And so otherwise you get actinium through the beta decay. But radon is an interesting gas, has interesting chemistry, and we needed to get a non-trivial amount of radon. And so we had a non-trivial amount of radium, and it was, but again, normally you do not see that much concentrated.
So it was so concentrated it actually had thermal effects that it caused the air around it to be disturbed.
Yes,
Gotcha.
really. I mean, really non-trivial stuff. So because when you worked in your reactor in no school, you had stuff that was much more controlled, right? You had.
Oh, we had stuff that put that stuff to say. You want to go lick something comprised of cobalt-60? Have fun, strontium-90, cesium-137, promethium, technetium. Yeah, the stuff that we worked with was around, not fun stuff. We had what's called crud traps. And a crud trap is somewhere like in the primary loop where you would have either a deformation or something along the lines where you would have cobalt-60 build up. And of course, those would be hot spots, and you would have surveying groups go in and they would survey with, I think they used an alpha detector, but I'm not quite. I mean, it depends. There's a Geiger-Müller tube for gamma rays, but they would go in and they'd do a complete survey, and they would actually mark where the hot spots were. And when you go into an initial compartmental entry and you go in to fix something, or you go into the reactor compartment itself, when you see that radiation thing and you see where those crud traps are, you basically avoid those with the plague. Like you don't if you got to step over something, you don't step over with your gonads right over it. you just avoid those things.
Yes. And so
I had to do that in a full canary suit.
Wow. Yes. And so because one of the problems with radium is radon is a gas that escapes, right? So you got this liquid, this hot liquid because of the radioactivity. It's in liquid form, and also you want the radon to escape, and then you got this radon gas, and when the radon gas has a fairly short half-life, and it decays into polonium, and polonium is a beta or alpha emitter. So even though you've got this nice safe vat of because people don't really may want to know that if it's an alpha emitter, you could stop alpha particles like a tissue paper, right? But that's not the problem. The problem is it decays into stuff, which can be very, very short half-life. So you get this intense burst of things, which will then give you gammas and betas and so forth. It's all the other stuff. And you're right. You died of radiation poisoning. Her notes are kept in a nuclear vault because I was hearing somebody did a survey of her notebooks are a nuclear hazard.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever watched it. Maybe you did, but I did a presentation on your polonium halos, Dr. Gentry's work, trying to show people why his methodology was bad, and why when you have these polonium halos, right? So you have polonium 210, 214, and 218, I believe it is. That those rings have a certain amount of penetration power from the energetic level of the alpha emitter coming off of it. So it will produce a three-dimensional halo around the object. And so when you do a cross-section, you're going to get a ring. You're going to get these concentric rings depending on your penetrating power. And what Gentry was trying to argue was you have these rings in granite or basalt. And he would argue, right, that these rings from polonium, which appear outside of the nucleation, or actually they're new at nucleation points, but they appear outside of the parental halos from uranium and plutonium. That shouldn't be. You should actually, if you look at it, you should have polonium and technetium, and you should have thorium, and you should have all these concentric circles. And yet that doesn't. What we see sometimes is completely unique polonium halos outside of the parent halos. And his argument was these things were created in stasis immediately from creation that just kind of poofed into existence, right?
Nice try.
and that was big thing back in the 70s. It was called I think Life's Little Mysteries or something like that. He wrote a book.
Yeah.
And it was a big thing back then because these creationists were like going, oh look, here's scientific evidence that the world was created instantaneously. And by the way, he didn't ever argue that. He thought it was more of over a couple of weeks period. And basically what happened was the actual scientific explanation is, as you said, radon is a gas, and what happens to gas when it gets into water, right? It gets dissolved. It gets diffused through the rocks through these microfissures, and so you have a uranium isotope or thorium that has now both of them actually, but they'll decay now into this gas that gets diffused. It migrates, and then it has a nucleation point.
Yeah, and you see if you look at this stuff. So
science,
the thorium's off an alpha particle and ripped through the crystal structure, and then radium has decayed, at even faster, and then you get and then radon can propagate through those cracks, and so you'll get this dispersion, and that's one of the dangers about radium is it allows the transport of radioactive material through a gas, and that radon gas is a noble gas. Doesn't like to do the chemistry, but it lands in places like polonium and lead and arsenate and bismuth, these radioactive things where you get half-lives of like minutes, right? Which is extremely radioactive. So the problem, of course, is when
thallium has a minute thallium chain.
Yeah. And so you look at that stuff. So the problem is that radium might be 1,600 years half-life. I think it's 1602. The stuff that comes from it are days to hours to minutes to seconds, right? And so you get this burst of stuff, and it's quite
radium's like 1,000 plus years, but radon is like 3 days, and that 3 days that the radon is the gas when it gets dissolved in the water allows it to diffuse through those microfissures. So you only need a couple days, and that's why we see these little halos.
And radium. Exactly, and radon very quickly grabs the electrons to complete its shell, so it becomes chemically inert, and moves through those cracks, and then goes bang after a couple of days and get this pop, which creates that basically what we were effectively seeing was radon halos.
Yeah, well, and there's a good thing. Well, you kind of point that out is true. The thing with the Gentry's work is, for one thing, he didn't have a very sensitive probe, an ion probe. His probe was only about 2 microns, and in order to have resolution between these halos, you need a much, much finer ion probe, like 1 micron. And so, like the polonium-210 halo, the plutonium-214 halo, the radon halo, these all kind of blended together. And it was really almost impossible to tell where one ended and one began, because you're dealing with energy levels that are so similar that he just kind of threw this out there and said, this is, 214. But I don't think he could actually resolve between the polonium-210 and 214. But anyways, wow, did we get deep into that particular topic? It's like a DEFCON 1 science today, not rum and coke night.
Because visually it was...
Y'all are being nerds.
We're nerding out. This is Landon, yeah.
I'm just enjoying listening to that, man.
We have
For real.
Lead glass between us and the radium. But to realize just how much radium was just that far away, and see the effects on gas was like, whoa, that's scary.
Well, I mean, when you got one of the smartest men on the planet in your hangout, you might as well utilize it, right? I mean, we can get drunk anytime.
You gotta expect some
Cheers.
Literally the smartest person any of us will ever know in our entire
right?
life.
I want to get a uranium glass tumbler.
Do you realize that Landon passed out is still smarter than all of us combined?
Yeah, but uranium is actually, it's actually a very long
Landon
half-life. Quite safe. It's quite, most uranium isotopes are quite safe to deal with.
Yeah, well,
you know about
uranium
glass, like they used to produce in depression and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, uranium's pretty safe. I mean, you can handle yellow cake. Sure. I wouldn't want to breathe in uranium hexafluoride, but
ceramics have that uranium glaze too. That's another spot. If you go into a typical antique shop, carry around a Geiger counter, and you can find not only the radium painted dials, but you find uranium glass, and you also find ceramics with glaze. Yes. Yeah. No, blacklight's another way to do it.
Yeah, that's mainly why I want one, because when you put it under a black light, it glows bright green.
Oh yes, it's quite beautiful.
Scorpions
So-
glow too under black lights. They find them in the desert. It's true. Scorpions can actually glow in
Yeah,
black
they can.
lights. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
a lot of scorpions too.
I mean, the bark sky. If you want to go looking for bark scorpions, that's how you would go out. Why you would want to, I don't know, but
Yes,
I'm not a
because
big fan of
scorpions are
but-
cool.
Yeah, scorpions are cool.
Oh, I'm not kidding. Where I used to live in Indio, in Palm Desert, we had scorpions. We're not talking scorpions. We're talking
Ooh.
scorpions like that long from tail to tip. They were California scorpions. Pretty well harmless for the most part.
Yeah, those are
not
the
too
safe ones, aren't they?
But you have these things really all the time going around the store. We had to like collect them and remove them.
Aw.
Yeah, they're big.
But isn't the issue with scorpions if you get them, if you squish them, they get stingy, right? Like
I
if
didn't
you
kill
I mean,
any.
if you just mess with them, if you like put your finger in front of them and you're messing with them, but if you can gently put them onto your hand, they're very
yeah.
very
No,
docile. All animals are docile.
we were basically we didn't kill them because they ate other bugs, and so
Yeah.
you know when you're running a store, you want you want some of that other stuff out there. We'd also get these what are they called, solids. The sulfates, those little, they're like spiders, but they're not. They're actually more related to a scorpion called camel spider, and they have
Oh, yes.
yeah, and they have these three or so little things that come out of their mouth, right? And
Yeah.
they're harmless.
It looks, yeah,
Supposedly.
it looks deadly, but
They're
they
fucking
can't
terrifying.
hurt you. Yeah, they cannot.
Emotionally,
hurt you.
yes, they can. They are scary.
I
think
mean,
so.
if you're a wimp,
I am a wimp.
your shoe or your boot you're waking up and putting your foot into doesn't have one of them in it because they get kind of cranky if you shove a foot in their face, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're
I
they're
mean-
typically they'll chase after you, but they're not really trying to be
Oh.
aggressive. I think they're following what they think is something, but
They're trying to get in your shadow, from what I understand.
yeah,
favorite-
yeah, I think so.
yeah. My favorite thing is like people who are like scared of spiders, and then they say that snakes have chased them, and it's like, right,
I like
okay.
snakes. Snakes don't bother me. Spiders, I'm not on friendly
Come down
terms with them.
under. You'll have to
Bro,
see
I
this.
free handle every bug I come across.
Ooh,
Bugs are not scary. Like you can free handle a black widow, and they're totally.
Oh hell
fine.
no! No, you can
Yeah,
free
I'm
handle
good
Black
on that.
Widow.
And I let spiders
They-
in my house stay because I know they're
Hmm.
eating lots of other things, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
But with Black
I've been doing that
Widows,
lately too.
like-
Landon. I used to kill spiders because I was definitely kind of afraid of them. I let them do their own thing now.
Yeah.
Because I look
like-
at it this way: there's things worse out there than spiders that the spiders will eat. So,
They have
Although-
they've done behavioral studies with brown recluse and especially black widows, and it's actually been found that black widows are some of the least aggressive spiders, where you can actually squash them and they will only bite you when you're like physically hurting them.
yeah, I
Desperately.
don't care.
Even
I-
then, they will generally do a dry bite. Like black widows are incredibly gentle animals.
You're insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. They can all
I
die.
don't care.
You
But
have
I
to
can,
be
I can.
I will kill black
Hear-
widows. Those I don't leave alone.
hear
Those I kill.
people
But
like Red Eye talk about because Australia has some spiders that sound like they're real.
Oh, we got redbacks.
yeah,
Oh,
redbacks
redbacks
and
will
funnel
hurt you.
spiders.
Oh,
Oh, you got to
I'm
watch
so
out for
jealous.
outsiders. We've got snakes at the moment attacking people, so just
Oh,
just watch out.
no,
Really?
Australian animals will always
Yeah,
attack people.
In Perth, we've got snakes attacking us, so yeah.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah, in fact,
And magpies.
Stuart, what, so
Thank-
what,
you know, 'cause
what
I'm
doesn't
gonna
try
be
to kill you in
Perth.
Australia?
I'm going to be in
Uh,
Perth.
nothing?
Hang on. Go ahead, Landon. What? You're gonna be in Perth?
I was like, I'm going to be in Perth like at the week of American Thanksgiving. So
oh, nice.
I've been to Perth. I've been to
Yeah.
Fremantle. Yeah. The other side, I
Yeah,
think, is worse.
Fremantle.
Like Sydney, those have more deadlier stuff. But I mean, you go swimming, you're gonna get
No, no,
you have a
Perth.
blue ring octopus that's gonna kill you. You got box jellyfish. You've got funnel spiders on
Aren't
land.
blue-
We have sharks,
Blue
Yeah,
rings.
sharks
Blue rings
have-
are in.
sea snakes.
Blue rings are
we
in-
have everything.
I
thought
love
they
your
only
orb
killed you.
weavers.
you even have
Australian orb weavers are so pretty.
All
And
right,
of
now we have
course-
emus. Emus will hurt you as well. We've got the
Uh,
emus.
Yeah.
Emus,
You have
they'll
a-
mess you up. Yeah.
Didn't you have a war with the emus?
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, we lost the war with the emus.
Well, is it true that
Beat the army?
is it true that dingoes rip your nuts off and run off with them?
I haven't seen that, but dingoes.
What's that?
No, dingoes can be docile. You just have to be careful, but they will steal your babies.
But he's
It's
not.
true.
By the way, folks, he's not
I like the way
joking.
you say
Yeah,
dingo.
the army did have a war
Dingo.
with emus. Look up emu war. It's in Wikipedia. And emus won, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was north of WA, and they literally had so many emus that the machine guns that they were using ran out of bullets before they attacking.
War of
That's
attrition.
horrifying.
Culling the herd.
God.
Yeah, but
By the way,
see,
this Glenlivet is
cull
really good. I don't
kangaroos
usually drink
here
scotch this fast. This is
because
actually
kangaroos double the
Attaboy.
human population in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Would
I
you-
know. I
just
heard
say
something
dingo?
about spider bros.
Oh, look who creeped in here. Trash goblin.
Mm.
well, Australia's the only place in the world that eats their national animals, like coat of arms.
Will you
Yes,
say
so-
dingo again, please? But say it like slowly.
Dingo.
Ugh.
That really works for you?
I have a.
Not
weird
enough,
accent,
it wasn't
so I'm
slow
not fully
enough.
Australian, because I originally
Yeah.
come from the UK, so I've got a mixed Australian English
Do
accent.
it, you gotta do it slowly. Say like ding.
Yeah.
Well, you have that R that shows up at the end of the O's, because Americans have the ugliest R's.
Do you want to touch his
Ever.
dingo?
Sorry.
I would
Well,
love to
I
touch
go
his
down to the
dingo.
servo.
Do you want to touch a dingo?
I would love to touch his dingo.
Hey, my baby. There she is, trash goblin.
Hi.
Nice. Hey, Trish.
Aloha.
You look gorgeous.
Hello.
Did you
G'day.
get candy tonight?
My video's frozen, so I can't see shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I got some candy. I'm still allowed to trick or treat because everybody still thinks I'm a fucking
Right, that's
child.
what I'm saying. I don't judge.
Take
So,
advantage.
anyway,
Fuck
so
yeah.
I'm gonna go to Perth for a meeting regarding the square kilometer array that's up in the Pilbara region, right, the middle of nowhere,
Oh,
and
nice.
then
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then I'm gonna take the train across your fine continent and up the coast to where allegedly Red Eye lives. Of course, I say allegedly because
Nobody
as
does.
everyone knows that Australia is just a plot to try to.
Yeah, you don't ever trust that red eye guy. Yeah, don't. You
yeah.
never know with
Taking
it.
the Indian
I think he's a
reservation.
Brit that just gets paid to say he's from Australia. I'm convinced of that, but whatever.
But congratulations as being from the former United Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
You guys want to hear the most evil thing I think I've ever come up with in my entire life, and I'm super duper proud of myself for what an awful goddamn person I am.
Clearly,
I bet I can top it, but go for it.
you are a pretty awesome
Unethic-
person.
Unethical life pro tip. Just before Christmas, steal your child's favorite toy and hide it. Wrap it and give it to them for Christmas. They will be incredibly happy and you won't have to buy them anything new.
Oh,
She's gonna, I told
feel
you,
like that won't
she's
go.
a very horrible parent. She should never
There's
reproduce.
one next to that.
It's gonna be
Never
great.
reproduce.
She's gonna be a perfect mother.
Well, first, she should never have sex because it's Cheshire. We got to think of her pure innocence.
Excuse me, sir. Okay, excuse me.
You can have as much
Nobody
sex
wants
as you
more
want.
want.
outlets.
Not
Thank
Cheshire
you.
though. Cheshire is pure and innocent and wholesome.
But what if I want to have
Bullshit.
sex with Cheshire?
I call bullshit on that. Cheshire's an innocent.
Yeah, I guess we have to.
That's all.
I guess we have to make exceptions. Brandon, you dissing on Cheshire sexual history here? Calling her a
not-
Sexual freedom.
You slut
She's not an
shaming?
innocent flower.
The
I
sexual
know
liberation
that.
of her as a
I've-
female.
She's not an innocent
We're not quite
flower.
sure about that. Remember, we don't know which way she's transitioning.
Chess Jr. is gonna end up on Dr. Phil.
Or at least in some news story eventually. Yes,
Oh man.
mommy dearest.
Think my
Actually,
child
what we've
would be
got-
mistaken for an alligator.
I'm thinking this actually happened to you, and I know your mom, and I could totally see her trying to do that. That'd be hilarious. That'd be awesome.
Actually, while we've got Landon
Wait, is
here,
Red Eye in here?
50 years ago,
But-
a couple of days ago, was the start of ARPANET.
Oh yes, yes.
happy
Well, I
birthday
mean,
to
ARPANET.
you.
I mean, and certainly there was networking before ARPANET, but in fact, if you look at like the 1970 like 6 ARPANET book, they used to publish books of the people on the internet, right? You'd have the names and the computers and operating systems and so forth and telephone numbers, so that because that was the way you still use telephone to talk to people, and so you'll see that I'm there. In fact, my nick handle is LCN2, right? And the reason why it's LCN2 is because LCN1 and LCN0 were link control node 0 and 1. So LCN2 was the first available thing for my initials. Most people's nick handles are long, complex numbers, but being one of the early people on the ARPANET, I got a 4-character.
Okay.
But yeah, but ARPANET ARPANET was really an amazing system, and was there for the transition from the NTP network transfer protocol to TCP transfer control protocol. That switchover was kind of interesting.
So when are they going to utilize TCP6?
You mean IPv6?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, if you have a cell phone, you're probably using IPv6.
But
we're in a weird situation at my work. We do dual stack at the moment because half of our network's still on IPv4.
Yeah, well, IPv4 is the only thing that my system. I didn't think their home computers utilized 6 yet.
Oh no, yeah, 6. Yeah, everyone does have 6.
Available,
Windows
but
10 has
is it
dual
really
stack.
being utilized?
Well, in the
modems have dual stack.
Yeah, and in the cellular network, right? The network protocol you're using from your cell phone to make a cell phone call is IPv6 connection. Mm-hmm. So there's too many cell phones out there to use IPv4.
Some of our cell phone networks still use carrier grade NAT though, so they give you a local address and then NAT it out.
Dude, you live in the middle of nowhere. Your idea of like cellular communication is a piece of string and 2 styrofoam cups. That's like high tech for you.
Hey, we have Telstra mobiles that go into the middle of the bush. I'm
sorry that you're afflicted with in your MBN and Elstra stuff. I mean,
don't get me started on the MBN.
That's amazing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to trigger you.
Trigger warning. We forgot to give a trigger warning.
Yeah, because I have dealt with the NBN. I work for one of the largest ISPs in Australia, so I've dealt with the NBN.
And this is one of those things where sometimes the government says, "Hey, we're going to do you a favor and build you a network." You might want to think, and this is not some anti government thing. It's just that by the time they get around to rolling it out, the world has gone several generations beyond what they decided to do. And
oh yeah, like
we
were supposed to have all fiber.
Yeah, that's the reason fiber optics not really a thing.
Apparently, there was a Burger King that dressed their entire restaurant up as a McDonald's for Halloween.
Well, there was a McDonald's.
That's a good Halloween costume.
Program
Yes, it is.
for today that they thought it was a good idea to put up these posters advertising cupcakes for Halloween, and it says Sunday Bloody Sunday cupcakes.
Sunday, bloody
bad.
Sunday.
That is very, very bad.
And I was
wondering how long it would take for somebody to actually sing that.
and I would suggest, if you think that there's
Does anyone know where that song came from?
The 1972 event that YouTube sings about, go to Wikipedia and type Bloody Sunday. You will find a list of Bloody Sundays going back to the 1800s, right? So it's not just I didn't know the YouTube song. It's like it has been a bad thing, and so to name a cupcake after that, come on.
I prefer Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. That's just me.
There's a McDonald's in Monterey, California that's black and gray. So it's not the golden arches, it's the black arches. It's kind of fucked up to see.
And is it like an emo McDonald's or something?
Yeah, it looks. We called it Goth in a Box.
Oh my god. Speaking of emo. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to interrupt all of you guys. Speaking of emo, My Chemical Romance is getting back together for one show. They just announced it today. Oh my god. I peed my pants. I peed my pants. I cried and then I cut myself. I'm so happy.
Just so she could feel something.
Jesus Christ.
Nikki's an oversharer, by the way.
Yeah. I'm a category 5 oversharer.
Do you realize that we are like Nikki's support group for like everything? Okay.
Apparently, PewDiePie donated $69,420 because 69,420 to the trees.
Oh, that
good.
Do people really think that's a good idea? That whole trying to reforest parts of Africa that shouldn't probably be even forest with non-Aboriginal trees.
Fucking effort.
They're not just
afforestation. I don't think is.
One of the things that you'd have to do is to protect those trees, and you have to keep things like elephants and giraffes from.
Oh, but they're not just planting them in Africa, right?
Yeah.
This is the Arbor Foundation, so they're going all over the world. So they're not just gonna dump like 50 bajillion trees just in Africa.
The problem is
they know what the fuck they're doing.
No, they don't. No, I disagree. I looked into this a little bit. The problems that I'm reading about is that for one thing, they're trying to control carbon emissions. But the thing is, by planting the trees itself, the African tundra, it releases a lot of carbon because the carbon's trapped in the soil, and so they're disrupting a lot of the soil, and it's kind of a backwards effect. So
yes, exactly. The other thing, of course, is that I like trees, and so planting trees because trees are cool is nice. But all tree does is delay the release of the carbon.
Right, it stores it.
Yeah, and even if you say, well, you don't burn it, then it'll biodegrade and release the carbon. So trees just buffer it up and cause a problem down the line.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think they fully thought this things through because I was curious about this as well. But we got a super chat real quick. Wow, super chat on a rum and coke night. That's cool. Thank you. Helios says for $5. Happy Halloween, everyone. I finally got a portrait pic, so I'm no longer some random loser. So now you're a loser with a portrait pic, Helios. Okay. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Helios. He gives me a super chat.
He's in good company.
You're a winner because you were the first super chat of the rum.
Yeah, he wins. So. Yep. Thank you, Helios. And happy Halloween to you too, man. Cheers. I
just want to know how many trees they're at so far.
12.
They're definitely at least at 12.
No, don't get me wrong. I think
at least 17.
At least 17. Like Chesh, at least 17.
Please plant trees, but don't think you're planting trees because you're going to control.
The whole thing is that they're trying to assist, not trying to completely fix the problem. I think we all know that just planting trees is not going to solve the issue, but it's better than nothing.
It's effort.
Well, it's also where they're planting them. True, they're the persons down there that actually have studied the Savannah region down there and the aromatic climate down there, the what do they consider that climate? I don't even remember. But they're saying that they're planting trees in the areas in the Greenlands where they shouldn't.
You're just a party pooper and trying to shit on everybody's parade.
Yes, this is what I do. Have you met me? We should be talking about candy.
That's all Steve does. He's like, oh, hey.
Hey, have a party. Shit on it.
A party. Oh, look, people who are happy. Let me fling shit at them.
Yeah, semi-arid.
Let me just destroy their entire lives and make them sad forever.
Listen, bitch, she was the one that's saying that she should take her child's toy, steal it from them, and give it back to my Christmas so she's a good mom.
That's just evil, right?
You're questioning my ethics.
It's a good idea.
I didn't say.
It's all about how much you want to spend in therapy costs later, so that's on you, Chad.
I didn't say I was going to do this. I said this was an unethical life.
Oh, you're so going to try that one day. I know you.
Still going to do it.
If not, I am.
I would have to pop out a kid. Have you seen me? I'm a tiny person.
Are you planning on having
a child?
Yeah. and again, please plant trees because trees are nice. They do lots of nice things. But if you think that's going to solve if you are questioned about physics of climate stuff, take a look at Thunderfoot's video on the bracelet that has the carbon.
Oh God,
I watched that.
Right. Watch that. he goes through a very succinct thing about, climate and carbon.
Yeah,
stuff.
I think the issue isn't that this group is trying to fix the problem by planting trees.
Whoops.
She gone?
Yeah,
Oh,
so she's
They cut
gone.
her off.
lost
You
Josh.
see this?
They
They didn't want her
did-
speaking the truth.
God damn it.
It's the government.
It's
Illuminati.
Russian hackers.
I thought I asked Illuminati to hang loose for a day.
I guess her Skype.
No, they can't do that.
What is Halloween? So her Skype died. So
Yeah.
it could come back.
Well, it's no longer Halloween where I am.
Oh yeah, really? Oh yeah, you're a
Yeah,
day
it's-
ahead. Yeah,
First.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's Friday for you. Well, yeah, but do you even have Halloween down there?
Yeah, we had like 20 kids come over to our house and take lollies and sweets.
Adam for $2 says plant gazillion trees. Late Denovian extinction. Late Denovian extinction. I don't want
You
to.
don't want too much oxygen in the
I don't get
atmosphere.
it.
Shit.
Yeah, didn't you watch that episode of Futurama where they planted way too many trees and then lit the atmosphere on fire?
Yeah, that would happen, wouldn't it?
No, there was since we got Landon here, we like nuclear stuff. Landon could probably tell you off the record, unclassified, or may not be able to confirm nor deny. But during the Manhattan Project, there was some speculation that the chain reaction would actually cause a exothermic reaction with the atmosphere, causing the atmosphere to actually ignite. That was a big consideration.
Of course. If you read Feynman's lectures, he talks about why that was a ridiculous idea, and sort of dismissed
What did
it.
Feynman
He's
know?
the guy that sort of
I'm kidding.
he did
Feynman's
cut
my
his head
favorite.
and said, "Nah."
Yeah, he's like, what?
Yeah.
No, but they were concerned about that though.
Well, there was a couple of people that were sort of betting. Part of the thing was there was a betting pool on the sides of the yield, right? And some people said it would destroy, the Earth and it would ignite the atmosphere and so forth. And there was kind of
They thought it might.
Yeah.
They thought it would
Nice.
crarack the crust of the Earth, right? They thought it would
Nice.
crack
Yeah.
the mantle.
20
I think, was the
kiloton?
concern.
Imagine betting on the end of the world.
That's 20 kilotons.
Hey.
The amount of energy released
I snuck in.
Suit.
is very small for like an earthquake releases far more than Hiroshima did.
Yeah. So and it actually been revised down to 15.7 is the Trinity shock. So
By the way, hi Nick.
Hey, how's it
Big
going?
four-
Say it more
$400 suitor.
sexual.
Aloha.
So Nick, what are you drinking?
Water.
Excellent.
Oh, that's not allowed.
Yeah, why just
It
water?
shouldn't be. I have to. I've got a medical condition. I can't really drink alcohol. I can, but I'm in a lot of pain if I do. So.
That's fair.
That means you haven't tried whiskey.
Oh,
I want
please.
my- I want
No. That's my bottle of Suntory. I used to drink Suntory whiskey all the time. My favorite. 43 proof, so that you can actually put it on ice, let the water kind of let it melt a bit, and you still have 40 proof by the time you're done.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, wait, then I
I
can
know
be
what
hurt.
I'm doing.
I want my first daughter to be a girl. To be honest, it's 2019. This should actually kind of be a valid statement now.
Oh, that's fucked up.
I'm drinking scotch, by the way, Nick.
I stuff real stuff.
Yeah, they're good
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
I mean, I've had this bottle for a while now. He sent God's Auditor sent it a while ago, and I cracked open just to try it. But I've saved it for a special occasion like this, so I'm gonna be using it only on special occasions. This is good, though.
Attaboy.
I like this. Not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah. It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Steve, Steve, I have to expose you onto Irish whiskey. It's the real proper stuff.
Oh, you could. There's a lot of people want to expose me. I guess it's a thing to do now.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
I've never
Irish
heard of a single malt Irish whiskey.
There's some great Irish whiskey out there.
No, this isn't Irish.
But
This
as-
is Scots.
but
this is a single
but
malt.
the Scots also
Scotch whiskey.
have
Single malt.
some great beverages as well. So I no disrespect to Irish whiskey.
Why?
There's
Oh.
some great Irish whiskeys and some
Careful,
great
Landon.
scotches.
Anybody?
I didn't have enough time.
I gotta ask
Hi, Nick.
Bye, Nick.
Yeah, Nick left.
Anybody who was on Reddit today might have noticed that Jeranism hit the front page of Reddit today under
Oh,
watch people die inside, and the title was idiot flat earther accidentally proves the Earth is round, and it's the clip of him going, interesting.
Yeah.
Negative Exponent asked me a question. He says, what does your friend think about the sun having to be closer than we were told because fire requires oxygen? Also, nuclear power is a hoax. Jam, truth, dumb fuck of the year. I'll take a little bit of that real quick.
Oh man.
Go for it.
Love it.
Go
All right,
for it.
so nuclear power is a hoax comes from Eric Debye.
Really trying to get that.
So nuclear power, that Eric Debye thinks nuclear power is a hoax. Although he will never answer any questions about why he thinks that. Why? Because I'd be happy to have a discussion with that. But fire requiring oxygen, there's no fire on the sun. Fire is plasma. There's a different states of matter, right? There's 5 or 6 now. Supposedly, states of matter. Fire actually requires 4 things. It's not a fire triangle as you learned in school. Your childhood is a lie. It's actually a square. Okay,
Your child is a lie.
Your childhood is a lie. Yes. You know, anybody tell me what the 4 things are? Unless you're in the Navy and you went to firefighter school or anything like that, you're probably not going to know this. But anybody tell me what the 4 things required are to have a fire? Because I'm telling you, your childhood was a lie. It's not just 3. I bet Landon doesn't know this, and he's like the smartest guy in the room. Although
I would think you'd need some kind of oxidant, but or oxidizer.
Okay, oxidizer.
I feel like my whole time is being
you need a bit burst of energy because it's unless it's a
yes.
Okay, so we have oxidizer or oxygen. We have fuel. We have heat source energy. What's the 4th?
You also need some sort of
that
containment.
Nope.
Whiskey.
Nope.
Droppity.
You need droppity. I'll give you a hint. You need something to bring all those 3 things together.
Because you need some containment.
Gravity, not a container.
But you have to have some containment of those 3 items.
Nope.
Well, I would think you'd need room of some kind for it to because it consumes.
And gravity's good.
Gravity.
It's a physics thing, actually. Okay, ready for this? It's called uninhibited free radical. So the uninhibited free radicals allow the combination of those 3 things to come together. There's a chemical called halon that's used in fire suppression systems. And what halon does is it does not actually remove any of those 3 components. It doesn't affect the fuel, it doesn't affect the oxygen, it doesn't affect the heat source. What it does is affects the ability for those free radicals to put those all things together in order to cause a combustion event. So what the halon suppression system does is it basically it removes those 3 things from each other.
It slows down or eliminates the ability of the reaction to so
basically a chemical reaction. Yeah. I guess if you really want to boil it down, it's a chemical reaction. That's the 4th one, but it's to have uninhibited free radicals that can combine all 3 together.
I found a prompt. You are a child's imaginary friend. You are a guardian angel. And your kid is really, really stupid. So you got to write a story based on that information.
But yes, I'll say yes. You do need to have the ability to have that stuff contained. I mean, I think there's a containment system because one of the problems can happen is you get a reaction started, but the material pushes itself out and drops. Right? Having some because if you don't have enough. That's all the fuel mixture of getting to the level of stoichiometry is you got to have a concentration. And you're right that halons would interfere and reduces the ability of stoichiometry conditions to start. But also containment is another way of doing that as well. But yes,
that answer that guy's question, or do you want more on that? I don't know. We could get some of the states of matter. There's so many different states of matter, actually, but they're not considered primary states of matter. As far as I know, there's only 5, maybe perhaps 6 primary states of matter.
I might be able to keep up with this conversation if I wasn't like 3 ciders in.
But
I need more whiskey to keep up.
Me and Nick are on the same page.
Come on, you know the 3 primary states of matter, but there's other ones. No? Liquid, gas, solid?
And I had chemistry class today. I didn't want to be in this.
Plasma is right.
Plasma is a 4th.
Another one.
Bose-Einstein condensate.
Condensate was number 5.
Then you have these newer ones, these strange ones that are coming up with, like you have a fermion condensates. You have There's a whole bunch of new stuff they were coming up with, but I don't like even electron.
The
Like,
stuff
they're
that
just
might
making this shit
occur
up now.
inside of like a neutron.
Electron degenerative pressure, neutron degenerative pressures. Those can be considered states of matter.
Yeah. But if you talk about states of matter that actually have been observed, right?
Yeah, we have never actually observed neutronium.
Oh, hey, by the way, my Twitter hold had to get refreshed because it's been so long, so I had to reappeal them.
Your Twitter hole or Twitter hold?
Twitter hold.
Because you're in a hole.
Hold. I love that word.
Were you
hold.
naughty on Twitter or something?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yes. She was very naughty on Twitter.
So naughty.
I actually wasn't this time.
No,
I think we should have a poll who believes she wasn't.
I'll
Okay,
tell you the truth.
okay.
She was naughty, but what she got reported for wasn't what she was. They're not the same thing. So
Yeah.
they didn't report her bad stuff. They reported ridiculously stupid stuff.
Yeah, the most mundane thing.
Central
So-
kill your living.
Yeah,
the problem
so-
is that she got banned for the most mundane things. Like,
I'm not.
be
banned.
better, Twitter.
They put me in. They were gonna give me like the regular whatever. You're suspended for.
Yeah, you
12
can't log
hours.
in for 12 hours or
But-
whatever.
Why
what
didn't
I
you just
did-
take that?
Oh.
What?
How can you just didn't take the regular just Twitter jail for 12
Because I
hours?
got reported
Suspension.
for dumb shit, and you have to delete the tweets, and I was like, no, fuck you.
And what happens if
So
you okay? So what happens if you find what happens if they find out that the tweets were TOS violations? Which they won't, by the way. But let's say that they did, or if they did, they're idiots. But
Then I'll just get the regular thing. It'll just happen like normal. I could go in and I could just cancel the appeal and delete the tweets now. I mean, I guess it's been like a week. I may as well, right?
yeah, nobody's
I mean,
gonna
no
give a shit.
Don't negotiate
You're on
with the
there.
terrorists.
Oh,
Yeah, don't let the terrorists swim.
But I say you gotta be careful on Twitter. I mean, for example, I never make accusations that Australia is an alleged continent, right? I did that. I did that in a YouTube chat as a joke, right? A flat Earth joke for Red Eye, and I got a lifetime ban on Twitter. So I never on YouTube, right?
yeah, no,
And
he's
I-
not even
and
kidding.
I-
He got banned
I'm
from
not kidding.
YouTube.
I got banned on YouTube for life because I was poking fun at Red Eye, talking about the alleged continent, and someone thought that my tweets might be offensive to someone in Australia.
Well,
Well, I
Landon,
mean,
to
it
be fair,
is allegedly a continent.
they still did keep charging you for your YouTube Red subscription.
Absolutely, because they're happy to take my money, and the only way I could cancel YouTube Red was to log in, but I have a lifetime ban to logging in.
Oh
The only way
my
I was able
God.
to
Hang on,
cancel
let's
that.
clarify this though. But the reason, one of the reasons is you didn't have any content on your channel. Had you had content on your channel, that would have been a different story.
I would have had a strike and be banned. I had that put in timeout thing because I had no content. Then
You're just
so
done.
that's
You
a
don't care.
lesson. Lesson: if you're on YouTube and you're just subscribing, post some innocuous video.
Yeah.
Tell you what, we've got that one
Okay.
video. We've got one video coming
Yeah, I
out
got
once we get
videos. Good.
once we got non-sec coming back, right? We're doing the I am Spartacus moment for everybody saying I am non sequitur, which some of you in here still need to send me, by the way.
Landon.
So
Okay.
just you guys can just all put those on your channels, then you don't have to worry about it.
Hey, I did mine already. I'm
Yeah,
done.
Landon, do you want to send her one of those videos clip? Because I don't think you've done it yet.
Oh, so I have to say I am non sequitur.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am non sequitur. You have to say it in a
Yeah.
I am.
Do your best
non-sequitur.
Sean Hufford impression.
Hang on. Do you want to do it now? Or do you want to send it to her?
Sure.
No,
I
no,
do it
send it
now.
to me.
I thought
Gee,
he
fuck,
already
can you
did.
fuck off with that? That's the second time you've let somebody just try and do it on a I have to download the entire Hangout.
Okay, well, then there
find
you
it and
go.
then clip it. I will kill you.
Then send it to her. We got some super chats. Godless Scummer for $2. Donation towards Chester's underage drinking. Yeah, let's get that out there. Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And then original.
Landon, if you want to get back on YouTube, you may have picked the wrong hangout. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Original Nelson, by the way, you guys should check out her. She did some really cool artwork on her scalp earlier. It was really pretty. She said, I got some chemical reaction right. Give me adoration. Love you. I discovered, by the way, I guess if you give a woman a compliment, that means that she's obligated to give you sex.
Of course.
Yeah, I found this out earlier today
Yeah.
or yesterday. So yeah, I didn't know this.
Why would
Oh,
that
yeah,
not
yeah,
be the case?
Who
definitely.
knew, right?
That's just how it's always
Does
worked.
does
for
that
me.
mean complimenting someone is promoting the patriarchy?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
I think you're onto something.
Just
From now on, I'm going to be an ass to everybody just to be safe.
Oh,
So you're gonna be
That
no
would
different than you've been.
that would just make me harder, Nick. Like,
You're not changing at
makes
all.
me hard when you're an asshole.
I'm a complete asshole because I'm a feminist. Goddamn.
Nick is the antithesis of asshole. Nick is like the only guy that will spend 20 freaking tweets to say he's sorry 20 different times, in
Yeah.
20 different ways.
For real.
He's like
By the
he's
way-
a Canadian.
By the way, sorry is a trademark of Canada. Right? You got to.
Yeah,
it's
you have to
not
ask
sorry,
Jess's
it's
permission.
sorry.
Sorry.
Okay?
Sorry.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Forgot the the A at the end. Sorry.
I will
Sorry.
send you my apology for doing that to you, Steve, in written form, and it'll be 3,000 words.
Yeah, exactly.
Can
Gotta
I
blog on it.
please
Oh,
get a
that's
copy
why.
of that?
That's why. No, that's what happened to Nick. He just got in a lot of trouble at school, so every time he was in detention, he had to write an apology essay.
Yeah, that's how I'm used to it.
Nick is still in
It's
that.
Dear
so
Mr.
ingrained,
Steve,
yeah.
I'm sorry that I distracted from your
Sorry.
channel with too many apologies. I will try to apologize less.
I'm sorry for being
but I'm
sorry.
Future apologies.
In a
I'm
more
sorry.
concise manner.
Insidious Vids, $2. Guys, I gotta go. Have a happy Halloween. Be safe. Thank you, Insidious Vids. Thank you, bud.
Whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah, no,
Bye.
Nick is still in that Twitter
That's a nice
phase where he
ghost
thinks that
story.
having conversations with a bunch of stupid people is actually enjoyable. God bless him. God bless him.
Well, I
Knock
would
yourself
say
out,
it's
man.
been in
enjoyable.
that phase for like
I think it's the
15 years.
masochist in me, quite frankly.
It-
but yeah.
Oh, eventually you will get tired of it. It loses its luster really fast. Trust me.
It's getting there.
It's like playing with a
It's really-
puppy, right? You know, it's fun and all fun and games, so they shit all over your floor every single day. Then you're just like, just
Yeah.
give
Did
it
I
away.
tell you guys what I was planning on doing eventually?
Yes.
I have
Oh,
I have a plan like in 2 years from now, once everything is rolling again and everybody's long since forgotten and these accounts have been completely forgotten about and the old school non-Zec fans will remember when I get two pet ferrets and I name one Agrippa and one Keon.
And both of them shit all over your carpet.
They're
One
gonna have
of
to be some pretty stupid ferrets, but okay.
yeah.
One ferret isn't allowed out of the cage because he's having trouble with potty training. He doesn't know not to shit on the couch. And the other one is Keon. He doesn't shut the fuck up.
She's gonna get him for legal
For some-
drinking age birthday.
And for some reason, really hates trans people. I don't know why.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's not gonna work out well for you.
Jess just playing with fire. He doesn't. By the way, they don't watch any of this stuff. I don't think, but I think it's hilarious though.
Well, no, I think the ferret's gonna like shit all over everything, and it's actually gonna clean everything all up and
Oh, yeah.
pretend like it was never there.
Yeah, the ferret clean its own shit and then say, "I didn't
That's
poop
right.
anywhere."
What are you talking about?
I don't know
I
what
don't
you're talking
exist.
about.
What?
And then it'll find another platform to
Which is
shit
the
on you.
one-
I still think it was hilarious that Keelan
Yeah.
was losing his shit about that and losing his shit that I had said that I DMC'd him like 6 or 7 times because 1 or 2 didn't go through because I got the address wrong or something happened. But anyways, 5 of them did go through, and he was losing his shit because it was missing one or something. And it was just like, dude, I was like that. He's like, Steve lied. He said he DMC'd me 6 times when it was only 5. Yeah, I'm a bad liar.
Oh.
This guy, he's
Yeah.
fucking. I'm serious. That is how he thinks. He literally thinks that I lied because I said 6 by 5. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's 5. I think there's more, but one didn't go through.
Why don't you just tweet and say sorry,
That
right?
Those
And
are some thin straws
I'll
that he's
apologize
using.
for that,
but it wasn't like, oh, I
That's
downloaded
the-
Steve's shit and then re-uploaded it. Didn't care about that. It was like Steve lied about
God.
DMCAing me 6 times. It was only 5. You're a brainchild there.
don't.
Trust me.
Yeah, I swear to
What a
God.
dumb.
I don't
Oh, now Steve's the
understand that
Nazi.
person.
He's the
Oh,
only
yeah,
sign.
Welcome, rum and coke night.
You should hear him off air.
You wanna
No.
you wanna make me a baby? I have very specific requirements if you're gonna make me a baby.
Ooh.
Okay.
Does that require
then
sex?
So are you
Made out
making
of
it?
burlap.
Let's get into this.
Can I send it gifts?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Who wants to
Is
have a
that
baby,
what
who wants to have a
turned
baby
into?
with you?
Wait, is that
Yeah.
in Russian?
Who
Really
is
not
creating
a
this
gay.
baby?
Yeah, who wants to have a baby with
If
you?
It's
it's-
Russian
if
vids.
It doesn't say I want to
If
make a
it's
baby
you-
with me. It said they want to make me a baby.
Oh, make you a baby.
Is
Yeah.
that like?
Sure.
Is that a like a?
Oh, that's something
cookbook,
Smitty would
or-
probably say. He's creepy like that.
Maybe they're trying to make you.
Apparently, you need to make love with
Smitty
a
is
real man
crazy.
too.
Oh my god.
Ooh, shout
Maybe they're
out.
trying to make you a
Oh, I
tar,
hate it when people say that.
trying to make you a tar baby rather than just a baby.
Okay.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
You with Nikki.
I mean, if it's a Jim Majors baby though, I mean, come on.
Why is it
Yeah,
Jimmy
where
in
is
here?
he?
Kill that
Jim
baby.
Major's baby is gonna come out with a mustache.
Is he scared?
Yeah, it's gonna have the stash.
I think
It's
Jim
born
Major's.
with the stash.
I think Jim Major's scared because I invited Neffy, and he's scared.
No, he's yeah,
Oh,
he's scared
God,
because
I had
I'm
to
in
invite
here
him
and he
tonight.
knows he will get sexually harassed.
I will
The
invite
entire
Neffy.
time.
I will
Invite
protect
Neffy.
Jim Majors. I will totally protect Jim. Jim, if anybody gets in trouble here with you, I will apologize to them for you.
Oh, that's sweet. of you. So sweet.
That's
I
very
want to
nice.
hear Jim's dulcet tones in my ears.
That's very nice.
He
I can
talks
just
so big,
imagine
but skill Nikki.
Go get go. Okay, look it. We need Jim in here. We need Mikey in here, and we need Nephilim Free in here. Is he
I'll
right?
get
Did you guys
all
watch
of
the other day?
as well.
Mikey is unable to join us.
Oh yeah, he's got
is
something going on.
doing things.
Yes. He's got
Yes,
a- Oh wait, he has what's called a life. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what is that?
He
That
does.
sounds like
things.
garbage.
What is that? What's it?
I've heard rumors of that sort of thing, but I
Sounds like a terrible decision, really.
overrated.
Yeah, but did you see the other night? Mikey's got game, man. He's got game.
Oh my god, right?
Yeah, I was
I mean,
impressed.
did we not know that?
I mean,
thought we knew that.
Yeah, jury was
Right?
still
Yeah.
deliberating.
I mean, Mikey is a very handsome man.
Yeah,
and
he's a
he's
good guy.
very-
I give him props.
Oh yeah.
I only give
He's
blowjobs with not breaking eye contact at all, lights on.
Nice. Lights
All
on.
lights.
Is that a
Oh,
statement
Even
of
our
fact
cell
that you're
phone
saying, or are you
lights.
reading that from somewhere?
Why
I read
not?
it.
Oh.
No, I just brought it up for no reason.
Well, I figured as much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you-
Everyone needed
Just
to know.
thought you'd start talking about the circumstances under which you'd blow. It's just because it's rum and coke night. Why not?
Yeah, news to me. Helios again, $5. Cheshire makes a baby if you feed her after midnight and spill water on her.
Oh,
That's more mitosis.
Just pops right out.
Yep.
man.
Baby, baby,
Yeah.
baby.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
What?
my scotch.
Like it's it.
It's like, yeah, no, she gets water spilled on her and then just kind of splits into two, and one's a little bit smaller.
No, that's how I got so small. There's actually 7 of me running around.
There
the
used to be a
planet right
6-foot version of her somewhere. At one
Yeah,
time.
it's
Nice.
Well,
There's a really, really nice version of Chesh.
now. There's 4 of us.
The link he got isn't working.
Oh man, one of them's starting a war somewhere. I
I-
bet.
I'm gonna do this. I'm
I'm mad about that.
gonna turn off my window capture real quick, so in case there's any nudie stuff.
I had sent it. Maybe that's a
Jim Majors, I'm inviting you directly, Jim. There you go. Quit your
I
whining.
swear to God, Jim,
Well,
if you don't come
I
in,
didn't see it.
if you don't come in, Jimothy,
What? Finish
Don't
that.
anybody tell him that if he comes in
I'll
here,
suck
I
his
plan on
dick. If he doesn't
sexually
come in,
harassing him.
I will
Jim
punch
Majors
him
unavailable.
and him. And
Unavailable
violently-
is what it
Hey.
says. I don't want to hear your shit, Jim.
I'm
Wow,
Jim.
Jim.
Oh, but
Is that
still-
Mike?
Mikey's here.
Oh
Hi,
yeah,
Mikey.
there's someone.
Mikey.
Mikey's here.
Mikey got game.
Ooh.
Mikey
There
was
he
talking hard to
is.
me.
Oh
He was
my
gonna
God.
kill me. I like that. I was like really getting kind of like not aroused, but definitely was like
Yeah, you
maybe a
will.
little.
It definitely moved a little bit.
It just
It twitched.
twitched.
Now we just need Jim, and I can orgasm. So
Oh
That's all
god.
that's stopping you.
She's been. You
Yeah.
guys don't know her. but She was a
Traumatized.
repressed whore, and so it kind of really she's
Oh,
coming out of
yeah.
her shell. Yeah.
that is my Twitter handle. Stories of a repressed whore.
Oh, okay,
I'm not
I
to be
got the
derogatory here. People that don't know me like God. Steve really talks about people like they're.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like no. This is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I
hello,
have
everyone.
specifically
I was
told
just-
Steve I like it when he calls me dirty names. It turns me on.
Doesn't do a hell of a lot for me, but whatever.
So you've got the best-
Yeah, hold on. I want to hear what's going on with Mikey. What's up?
Oh, I didn't even notice you guys were doing a hangout. I was just catching up on some reading here, looking awesome like I do.
You can't help that.
Damn.
You need to pose more. I need more face from you. Like purse your lips just a little bit so that your cheekbone pops out. Let me see. Let me see that. Let me see that.
So I don't understand. Just
Better.
because we had Mikey on and we had Landon on, we're not poaching anybody. I don't know where this is coming from, Steve. I really don't. Chesh in a couple weeks, but that's a coincidence.
I've tried adding Jim, but he says it says unavailable. I don't know what's going on.
I sent him another copy
Wow.
of the link. It was the somehow.
Come on
it was
in
the
here,
hangout
Jim.
thing.
But
Yeah,
Mikey was
wow.
looking fly, all dressed up and stuff, like business style. Although it was like personal thing you were going through.
Yeah.
How'd that work out? Was that
Yeah.
good? Did you have fun?
I don't have a good enough mustache. Come on, Jim.
Mikey,
Let
did
me
you have
see that
fun?
shit.
It was a blast.
Good.
Everybody had a good time. Driving down there was reckless because of shitty weather.
It was a bar
but-
mitzvah, right? You're
Yeah, all the black Jews.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my god! Ew.
You never heard of Sammy Davis Jr.? Come on, jeez.
Why did you say it like that, though?
There's no Jews in my
He's a
family.
Chicago.
Not that there's
Okay?
nothing-
Yeah.
like there's nothing wrong with people being Jewish, but they don't have a large
Chicago
black
is
population, from what I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My Unfinished Journey, $2. Shout out to the Cider Crew. Yeah. Thank you, Unfinished Journey.
Woo! I'm about to literally crack open a Strongbow like right now.
Nice.
I have to like walk through my door.
Let's
I've
go.
been at work like, this entire
So,
time.
let's
what do you
see
guys
your
want to
point.
hear else from
Oh.
Landon? Because, like I said, Landon really wanted this rum and coke tonight, and we got him in here. So, anything you like else you want to hear from Landon, or just
Got him.
We always want to hear from Landon.
I know I can listen to him
Yeah,
all
right.
day.
By the way, I want to shout out to the In Time people. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Our pleasure.
And it was. I look forward to going on again. And thank you. It was a very interesting discussion about YouTube. It was an intelligent discussion about YouTube issues and problems that is rare on the internet. But one of the things I wanted to sort of do a little announcement is that, a while ago I gave my Patreons a several month warning saying, hey, you need to be someone other than exclusive or almost nearly exclusive YouTube content distributor, right? I wanted to encourage people to try other platforms. So I'm giving a 2-month warning saying, if you are a only YouTube content creator or effectively have anything but a non-trivial presence outside of YouTube, at the end of the year I'm going to cut off all contributions, be it through PayPal, through other means, right? Because I really want people to try and distribute their content through other means. You do YouTube. I'm not opposed to that, but please consider doing things like podcasts or stuff, because come January 1st, if you do not have a non-trivial presence outside of YouTube, then I cut off.
Well, I had a podcast. We know what happens there, though. Thank you for reminding me.
Well,
I'm
we got it
depressed.
covered. We're doing smoke signals, so we're good.
Yeah. So
I mean, I
please.
can stream to
He's
Twitch,
not
but
coming out ahead in this conversation.
No,
This situation.
Steve, use Mixer. Go to Mixer instead.
Mixer.
Yeah, Mixer.
Okay.
Twitch is doing
That's
the
the one
same
that
thing as
uses.
YouTube.
Yeah, that's the one that Unirock is on.
Periscope,
Yeah,
maybe.
Unirack's going to go to Mixer.
I don't know.
You can try Periscope, but it's
I thought
only
he was on D Live.
small format.
No.
Yeah, he was on D Live. He's moving to Mixer though as
Well,
well.
what I could do is I could go to Restream, IO Restream. And,
Yeah, use Restream
yeah.
and stream it to both.
And Steve, another thing is that some of your shows could simply be done as audio, right? You put them up on iTunes as a podcast.
That is.
right?
Well,
we
yeah,
are
no,
gonna
I
be doing that
wouldn't
in
mind.
times
Okay,
of night.
first of all, podcasts take like 2 hours to freaking do. People think it's easy. Every episode that I did on the podcast, because I did every podcast that was on. We had 180 podcasts or something like that, or 170. I did every one of those. Each one takes about 90 minutes to 2 hours to cut. Because you had the bumper music, you've got to like take out some you've got to like render it, you got to upload it, then you got to put the description. It's not an easy process.
You can automate part of that process, have it automatically insert bumpers and things like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess so.
Yeah.
So encouraging
Steve,
people,
great tools to do
please
it. You got
consider-
a lot of time off of that.
as David said, please consider moving beyond YouTube. Still post to YouTube. I don't mind. Just diversify, please.
I agree.
Well, what I think should happen is this. I think Cheshire should start a podcast. I'll co-host for her, and she could do all that shit. And I'll just.
Who's the one who did Pornhub? There was a legit guy. I think he was a flat Earth debunker. Complete straight videos on Pornhub. He has now been banned from Pornhub because he wasn't posting. That was it. That was it.
And now the term logic is actually banned on Pornhub. If you search for logic, it like auto corrects it to anything but that.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, because he was posting too many legit videos on Pornhub. I can't have any of that.
Yeah, that was.
Can't have any of that. Get your dick on you.
I mean, I guess we could just do non sequitur topless.
On Pornhub?
Well, my suspicion is you're going to get a lot more.
I'd be okay with that.
Check on
This has viability.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Because I know Chess wouldn't give a shit. That has some viability.
You're going to get more subs.
Nude,
I don't know that it has
wait.
any liability on Pornhub.
Non sequitur in the nude.
But please
Nude
try to be
sequitur.
diversified. Don't have a single point of failure on YouTube. And by the way, the FCC stuff is coming your way. And if you think you're safe, think again.
You're
well,
wrong.
Rand, we're still talking about the nudity here, so give us a second here. We're pondering.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But the nudity stuff, I mean, so it depends on who's nude.
Yeah. You see, the way I get subs is I tell people I'm going to put my shirt back on, and then the sub count just goes through the roof.
I don't know. He took his shirt off once, I heard, in a private thing, and people lost their freaking minds.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I need to see that.
Yeah,
I'm not releasing anything that's not already public, by the way. This is a story that's out there. Is that
that's
true?
total doxing, Steve.
So they went nuts. They were like, "Oh my God, we want you so bad right now, Nick."
And
What an awesome villain.
I just live in that
Don't think
perpetual
you're using
state.
that word
I don't know what you're talking about.
right now.
Toxic. Love that. So,
Yeah,
Who's vacuuming?
just like somebody recently, like Steve doxed himself. I'm like, I've been.
Well, I love it. I love it
confusing.
when you called. There was a person on Twitter, and you called her Shannon, and you got accused of doxing.
I didn't call anybody. I didn't use Shannon's first name.
It was Shannon Q. Well, she went by Shannon Q, and you called her Shannon, and she was going by Shannon Q, and you got accused of doxing. And you're like, her name is Shannon.
Oh, you're talking about.
Q.
You're not talking about the Shannon Q. You're talking about the person who has Shannon Q in their name that keeps getting people confusing with Shannon Q.
Yeah, well,
because there's another Twitter person with the name Shannon Q that's not Shannon Q, but she is Shannon Q. But she's
Yeah,
not,
reasonable.
yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah.
Shannon Q.
You got accused of doxing someone because you used their real name or the name that was in their.
Oh, I've had that happen on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
I had somebody. I'm not kidding. I had somebody literally write YouTube years and years ago. I used in a title the name that they have
Nice.
in a video that they use
That's
all
a
the time.
seal
And
booking.
that person wrote to YouTube telling them that I was using their name and blah 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 blah, and YouTube just told them to fuck off. I just said this is not doxing. This is their name. This is their channel. Blah blah blah. What the hell is wrong with this? That was done. There's nothing to it.
I think one of my favorites was the one that you were just talking about. They said that Steve doxed himself when all of Steve's information is public, and they think they might have figured out what my name is. That's just speculation,
That's
though.
the worst.
Like, wow, guys.
That happened a couple days ago when the whole thing about Steve having stolen valor came out, and
Yeah.
I went and found his actual service record on the thing. And
Did
it's
you have
like,
to do a
"Steve,
deep
did you
dive?
It wasn't. It's not even a
I
deep
know.
dive. It's just a website you can go and make a thing on. And if you type in any day that someone's had a service, active duty, you can find their entire record on there. So
Did it really shock
well,
you
not their
that?
entire record.
Yeah.
I mean, it really also shouldn't be that hard to figure out what my name is.
Which is kind of funny
That's
because
goblin.
there's some veterans that go through hell and back to prove that they were actually veterans before the Veteran Administration would recognize them.
Yeah, back in the day it was very difficult sometimes. Yeah.
I mean, because
Not for me,
my
I never had an
father,
issue, but
my father was a Korean War veteran, and his service record was destroyed in the fire. Moreover, he was one of the radio relay people where he had like 5 dudes up at the top of a hill that was essentially the war. And they said, well,
SIGINT,
have
yeah.
other people who were, who saw you, right? No, right? It was, so it can be quite hard for a veteran to prove they're a veteran when they are a veteran.
Well, it's pretty easy to prove that you've actually been in and on active duty. It's a lot more difficult to prove that you have like an honorable discharge.
Yeah, I saw it, Chesh.
Not necessarily. I mean, like, you don't get a VA card unless you get an honorable discharge.
Me and Nick are on the same
Yeah,
page.
Yes, we are. I saw it too.
There was a
Honorable
fire.
discharge.
What'd you guys do?
There was a fire where there was a bunch of people who they'd lost most of the records at a certain gap, particularly around the Korean War time. So a lot of Korean War veterans had their service records just, lost.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, guys.
Did Jim
Oh,
Look at
Hello.
that.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Stash.
The stash.
Stash
is
is
Hello.
doing ASMR.
You know damn good and well the Stash can't talk. I don't know why you insist on teasing it that way.
Bullshit.
I would lose
That
my
Stash can do calculus. Okay, come on.
I think me and Nikki
The Stash does the talking.
It can do calculus, but I'm a poor medium for it to relay that information.
So
I think me and Nikki would both lose our damn minds if Jim decided to ASMR anything.
I wouldn't care.
Read the phone book, Jim.
Yeah, then you get a whole bunch of ums and stutters and the occasional fuck, and then have to pause for a smoke break. So
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
That's, I think, what they're looking for, Jim.
10 out of 10.
it's like chapter 2. It's like, man, Jim sounds a lot
Life-saving
happier and hungrier than he did in chapter 1.
I did the theme that Lamb Chops play along ASMR on my channel.
Well, on my channel,
That's
there's an
fucking
ASMR
awesome.
of me
I
grinding
actually
pepper.
did. Check it out.
Pepper.
And
We could do like
ASMR Fox and
like
Socks.
Jim does ASMR trying different accents.
I take requests too to do ASMR or something on my channel.
You should do different.
Jim does
You should do
ASMR, but-
ASMRs trying on different stashes.
We'll go do this. Guess.
Oh.
We're gonna do ASMR. Guess what we're doing.
But I can only get
Guess-
smaller.
Hey, guess the objects. Ready?
ASMR what, Steve?
No, we're gonna do guess the objects for ASMR. Ready?
Oh yeah.
Guess what they
Is
are.
that me?
You hear it?
Is that me currently?
Yeah, I hear it. It sounds like Scrabble.
Yahtzee dice.
Nope.
Those aren't dice. Those are like basically tiddlywinks.
Quarters.
Sounds like lies. Portals?
Yeah, the quarters.
Quarters. Oh my god, I was in
They're
a
in your
call.
hand, okay.
I was in a call with somebody and I was talking about D&D dice. And they dropped one of the dice and I was just like, "Oh, you lost your D4." And they were like, "Wait a second." And so they started rolling each because they had the 6 dice, right? The 4, 6, 8, 10,
20.
12,
12, yeah.
and the 20. I was able to get, after rolling all of them once, I was able to guess every single one of them whenever they rolled it, which one it was.
Well done.
It was stupid.
Just over here bragging.
Yeah, because the D4 has kind of got that thunk.
The D4 is the easy one, right? The D4 is the easy one because it's just pointy and it's just like ting, ting. The hard one is
It's a
when you start
tetrahedron.
getting. Yeah, because the D20 is pretty easy to tell. The D6 is a little bit tricky with the D if you put it beside a D8, but the D8 and the D4 sound the most similar because they're pointed, right?
And we're talking about just the
So-
classic thing. So, for example, I have a D100.
Yeah,
Those
So
are terrible.
Chesh
They're
is
very.
saying-
yeah.
It's very
It's
hard
such
to read them. They roll too
Uh-oh.
well.
Yeah.
I just always love the D3 because it's so. I mean, not that you need it often, but there are times when you can use a D3, and it's just like I love the idea that you could actually make a 3-sided, or it's not obviously it's a. I mean, it's a pyramid, but I thought it was one of the.
It's a
coolest
pyramid.
dice I've
I
ever
thought
seen.
about D3 as being a cylinder.
Yeah, the D3
No,
would, how would you get because the D4 is the pyramid.
How about a D1? It's just really, really boring.
Or is it just a instead of being
D1 causes a rip in the space-time continuum.
You don't need to roll it.
D-
It's
I
like-
actually
is
thought
a
about
pyramid,
this.
and whichever
D3
one's on
would
the
be a
bottom-
cylinder.
Yeah, a
The bottom
D3 would
one
have to be
matches all
hollow.
around.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
D1
can
is
have a
just a
D.
big
You
pickup.
can have a fair D3 cylinder.
Yeah.
But the question is, what's
Yeah.
the ratio between the radius and the height?
Oh wait, you can have a
you would-
That
three-sided
should be
one
twice the
if
radius.
it is if it's convex. If there's a convex edge to it.
Well, the,
I
the,
see
the,
what you're saying.
the way the D3 worked was each side it was a pyramid. Each side had 3 one number on each side, and whichever one was the bottom one was the one that counted. The bottom one was the same on all the sides. So however it landed, whatever the bottom number was, wherever you were looking at it from, would always be the same number, and that's the number that you rolled. It's the bottom one.
I prefer the cylinder idea.
So Cheshire,
Gotcha.
when you're doing the deck of many
That sounds like
wonders,
nice with extra steps.
when you're doing the deck of many wonders, which card is the void?
Like what? Like off
The
the top of my
void.
head, which one is the what?
When you do the deck of many wonders, there's what
I never used it. I never used the deck
Really?
of many things as a regular deck of
Yeah,
cards.
deck of many-
I
yeah,
have
that's
a
what it's called.
tarot deck.
Yeah, deck of many
it
things.
was-
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
one of
was
the
just
spades,
the, it
isn't
was
it?
just the void card because I actually used a proper
Yeah.
tarot deck for it.
I'm lost.
No, it's king clubs.
Was it clubs?
Yeah,
Oh.
close though.
You
Very
can't
close though.
say no. It's not the answer I gave.
Well, I'm not using a tarot deck. I'm using a regular tarot deck.
That's what I mean. I was like, I don't know what the actual card is off the top of my head.
Okay.
Like if you were to use a regular 52 deck, because I never used it in a regular 52 deck. I actually had a tarot deck that I used.
Ah, well, you're just hardcore.
Just roll for it.
You can roll for it too, but sometimes it's fun to use props in your D&D games.
Surely, but that's effort.
Yeah. I'm a DM. We're making a goblin language.
She's just like really immersive in this.
You
shit.
mean English?
Okay, that's it. You need to get the non-sec channel back tomorrow.
Well, we'll
She
try.
has way
Yes.
too much time on her hands.
I know. We
You're
gotta get the
making a
new.
language.
We gotta get the new non sequitur going, man.
Well, I told her to get a
Nude
timestamp
sequitur,
of,
man.
of when
You guys have any
Landon said the
Oh, you're
fragment about
non-sequitur.
I am
Hang on, hang on,
non
free to play,
sequitur,
hang on.
and she said that would be too much work.
You guys are walking all over each
Listen.
other. Free to play was talking. What?
We're talking about how Cheshire has too much time on her hand. I suggested that she actually takes a timestamp of when Landon said, I am non sequitur,
Yeah,
back when he said it.
Listen, no.
Oh,
No,
there you go.
She's gonna fucking cut you,
Yeah, she'll
dude.
cut you. She knows where you live.
Yeah, that's,
Go find
you
her.
don't want to fuck with Chef, alright?
Here, look at this. I'm gonna share
Give
screens
give
real
her a
quick.
knife, dude, and your kneecaps are gone.
If you think
I've got
I'm
plenty.
bad, if you think I'm bad just normally, check this shit out. This is the D&D part of my Discord, right? This is the general chat. There's character creation, which has in pinned messages the rule books and crap. Then I have this whole thing of magic items. There's just a giant shopping list of different weird items that you can find that I just find online and then I just post. Then there's memes, because memes for days. This one is recently about the Jurassic. Schedules for people trying to scheduling Q&As and stuff. And then I have the Dungeon Master table, which has a general chat world building, which is all just about like weird things you can add to your worlds. Map resources. So if you need any
Holy
maps,
shit.
Will you play?
Game
Will you,
hooks.
will you play Magic
Would
the
you like-
Gathering with me? I've never played you Magic the Gathering.
NPC resources.
I wanna play Magic
got-
the Gathering.
I've got spare decks for friends. I used to be huge.
I've
I've
lost
got
my
like
cards.
10 decks.
Yeah, I lost my cards.
Homebrewed rules. Cursed items. The cursed items, by the way, are not in the items up here. These are cursed, so only the DM knows about them. Creature resources, and then additional traps and riddles.
Dude, I've played D&D 3 times and I committed suicide all 3 times.
He's like, get me out of this campaign.
And
If
you
you
didn't
think
have to roll
class.
for it.
Did you have a
You didn't
rogue?
have to
You
roll
think
for it.
that's
To
bad.
attack your own face. That,
That's
you think
literally what I
that's
did.
bad.
I hacked my own face because I had to go to class.
If you think that's bad, hold on one moment. Let me get this
Uh-oh.
set real quick.
Oh,
I'll admit I've never played D&D, but I've always wanted to. But it just seems like you can't get in without being part of the.
It's
Part of
they're
the-
very, very
It's a
elite.
size barrier of it.
I
It's not.
played a version of it, but I didn't have a table on it.
I've been to 3 Skull and Crossbone meetings, but I've never been to one single freaking D&D match.
D&D is more. They don't mess around, man. You have to like fit
Yeah,
into the group with them.
Yeah, it's
So-
literally cloak and dagger,
Yeah, if their
Over
DM hates
here-
you, you're screwed.
So
I
over
almost
here-
went on CQ.
or cape and beret. I think that's an exception.
So over here, what I got going on.
I mean,
is
who could
this is
possibly hate Jen, though?
this is my character, one of them, and I actually fill in the blanks and information of my character, so
Ooh.
anybody can use them as an NPC. So I've got NPC, and same with 13, and then I've also got the stat blocks for these characters as well, so that way you can actually run the character if you want to run the character, and roll it back if you want to roll it back in its stats. And if you think that's bad, let me show you this spreadsheet real quick. This is the monster manual, what page it's on, whether or not the
Holy
monster is a spellcaster,
smoke.
what region it's in, the challenge rating, alignment of the monster, the type of monster, the size, and its name.
And
Dude.
you typed all this in?
Yeah, that's
The
what
monster
they
manual is
had
going to
before.
have
Don't you really need
500
to
entries in it at
write
least.
it over?
Monster manual, Volo's
Cocaine
Guide
is a
to
hell of a
Monster,
drug.
and Mordekainen's Tome of Foes are all currently in this list.
What number is the last
Where?
one?
Monsters
Did
of
you
Tyranny.
Find Chesh at
692.
Wow.
Dude, you have put more effort into this than I put into my entire academic career.
It's like a master's
hold
level
on.
thesis.
You put more
shit,
effort
yeah.
into that than I
Wait,
did my
wait,
first
hold
marriage.
on,
You put more effort into this than
That's
Anthony
right.
Riley. Wait, you put more effort into this than Anthony Riley did in his master's thesis.
Yeah,
Here's the spell lists.
I've got
So-
2.5 degrees, and you put more work into this. Jesus Christ!
So this
What are the
is
columns?
what the name of the spell, what level the spell is at, what school of magic it uses,
Even Landon's going, man, this is just too
What
complicated
book?
for me.
what book you can find it in, so whether or not it's in Xanathars or whatever.
It's
And
D.
over here, these I have to double whether or not it's a ritual.
Okay.
Landon's
Ritual
struggling with the
casting.
math.
And this right
Yeah,
here,
he's having an aneurysm.
these right here are what classes can cast the spell.
Ah.
Holy shit, that's an
So-
Excel spreadsheet. My
This
God, I
is-
didn't realize it.
This over here are
Here we see a savant in its natural habitat.
these are shop references. This is a reference for a
Do you
DM
realize that she
there.
put her efforts into like
Shop.
learning physics?
Dude,
So this
like,
is-
Oh, should bury all of us. Should
Imagine
be
what
sitting
we
there
would do
like,
if we unlocked
oh,
these are
100%
options
of our
going
brain.
like, no,
I'm pretty sure that
radiation
this is
isn't
the
real.
equivalent of solving cancer.
accounting.
I'm waiting,
My
I'm,
God.
waiting, I'm waiting for the one. No, I'm waiting for the day when Cheshire gets to the point where she's like, "Hey, Landon, shut the fuck up and let me explain something to you, dumbass."
Oh.
This is the
Let me
general-
tell you why elves are worse than trolls, okay?
This is what item it is, how much
Yes.
it costs, what are the chances of it showing up, like whether or not it's regularly found in this size of shop, and what kind of shop it is. And then I also have weapons and armor listed, pets, vehicles, and then I have another one that I'm not done yet.
This
And
is the only DM that brings a fucking tablet.
what I did over here,
Like a server.
so what I
Brings
did
a
is I
mainframe.
actually I
Right.
pulled up the different potions that exist,
Uh-huh.
what their rarity is, a quick description
Oh
of
my
what they
God.
physically look like, what their effects are. Then I added a component list.
Awesome.
So
Oh,
if you
wow.
wanted to go and make them, and then if it has a relevant spell, so oil of etherealness is just causing
Oh my
ethereal
God, you
smell.
killed
So you forced people
Chesh,
actually
this
have
is
the
just
components to
from
create
one
the...
friend to another, Chesh. The first step in solving any problem is admitting you have a problem.
Okay, so I started this one.
I'm sure she can
one,
stop at
but I
any time she
haven't.
wants.
I haven't done this one yet because I don't have access to my D&D books anymore. And this one was
D&D
supposed
is
to be.
live. Shut up.
Was supposed to be the player backgrounds. So it was going to be what the background is and what skills you actually got to make it a lot easier for whenever you're making a new character to look at. You could just look at the chart and see if you have talents like traits. So like your ability scores. So like your athletics, your acrobatics, your stealth to make sure that you weren't like doubling up on your abilities.
This has to be analogous to like physics somehow. Like Landon needs to go through this and replace it with different values and
Yes.
discover
And
the
this
grand
It's
unified
called the
theory.
standard model, yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
there
this
it
is
is.
this is
Hey,
just a city that I wrote called Everclear that
Yes.
hasn't been used yet.
Super
yeah.
chat from Geoff. Hang on a sec.
Quick,
Goddess,
close it. It's spoilers.
yes, Goddess Geoff writes, more research went into this than the super chat than Anthony Riley's master thesis. Thank you.
So,
got us
so
going.
Chesh, have you ever thought about building an app with this data in it?
I could, I guess. I haven't really considered that.
I mean, because it would be fairly
You
straightforward.
could probably sell that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard.
Well, yes, I'm serious.
Yeah, you could make
Yeah,
some money.
you
That's
have all
true.
the data there.
Wouldn't that be copywritten?
Side profile of Joe.
Would I be allowed to do that because like the information isn't necessarily free, right?
Do you want to do nude campaigning on Pornhub? That actually would be watched. I'm
New
like
D&D
bullshitting.
games.
Okay,
D&D
if we're
yeah,
gonna do
that would be
if we're gonna
seriously
do
watched.
Think
we're
about
gonna
your
do that-
demographic.
If we're gonna do
New
that, we have
D&D,
to
that
break
would
out
be
the Book of Erotic
interesting.
Fantasy.
That's fine.
That's an old
Helios,
one.
$10. I once had a fairy druid who was obsessed with life. I tricked the DM into allowing me to make a perfume that would put any woman wearing it into estrus and cast a curse of something of charm.
Cursed versus charm.
Cast a cursed version of charm.
A cursed version of charmed person on men.
Oh,
Put her
that sounds broken.
into estrus.
What does that mean? What does that do?
I
don't
know.
Does that mean he has a little penis now?
Well, depending on what version, like what edition of the game they're playing, Charm Person essentially gives you basically control of that person for X amount of time, depending on what level.
Do you use suggestions so they can
do you guys
pretty
use
much
cantrips?
You just have to give him like a sultry look, just like.
Yeah, and then you have to roll a dice to see.
Oh my god.
I rolled a natural 2. I don't know what that means.
That means you roll a 2.
Jim walks into the room and
Unmodified
nobody
2,
wants to
too.
see me without my shirt anymore.
Nikki,
Do you use cantrips, Jeff?
Jim rolls a 2, walks in the room and trips over mustache.
That's called a fumble. That'd be a 1. No, that can happen. It's called a
mustache
fumble.
would be
Unless
a
that's his
photo,
power.
isn't it?
What do I have to roll to get Jim in bed with me?
Persuasion.
Like
A natural
like
infinity.
A full 20?
Charisma
I feel like it would have to be a full 20 because like look at him. He
Well,
looks like
well,
a
that's a
model.
little bit of that is going to be up to Jim. You'd have to roll a persuasion check, and then it would be up to Jim to see whether or not
Well,
that
nothing
persuasion check
that
actually
can't
works.
be solved with magic.
The next person who says Steve is creepy, though, I'm just gonna say, have you met Nikki?
Roll the chloroform, you're laughing.
At least she's direct, Jim. You know she
But I
wants you. I mean,
skill it all once.
Oh,
I don't know
I
how that
mean,
would happen.
there's no questioning, her intentions for sure.
no ambiguity there.
At least she's honest.
At least you don't have to go. Do I gonna get some tonight? You know,
Just
is,
put it all right there in your face.
is
you know,
dinner just dinner?
Oh no, never. There's not one night that would go by that. Never mind.
Blasphemy.
Wow, no.
One of the
I'm
mods.
saying
One of the
it.
mods
Let's
put
gotta say it.
negative. Somebody put negative into
So-
timeout. Nope. That's just not factually correct.
Put who in
at all.
timeout?
Negative is going into timeout. How dare you?
Uh-oh.
What for?
How dare you?
What did
His mustache still isn't as good as Red Pill's.
Red pill religion or red pill?
Okay,
Get out of
well,
here.
you might have been kidding, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
so anyway, check.
oh, you typed out negative exponents, you bastard! What? What the hell?
Just
So
kidding.
anyway,
love you.
Jeff,
You can't do that, by the way. You know
Listen,
that, right? He
even
literally
I
has to
don't
wait
mess
5
with the
minutes now.
stash.
I'm not kidding, but I have to say that for PR purposes.
Sorry,
Fuck it, I'm putting him in
I
timeout
am-
too.
I tell you what,
I-
negative exponents. When you get back, I'll give you a wrench so he can fucking do that again.
Oh shit! Somebody else turned him out.
Yeah, that was me.
Sorry, what's Landon trying to
I
say?
gotta throw in with
I
Jim
am
on this one.
I gotta have Helios a wrench too. It's wrenches for everybody.
Stop.
Moderation for
Guys,
this. Go.
shut up. Landon's trying to say something.
Who?
So,
Oh.
so I
And it's trying to talk.
Oh, Smitty, you bastard.
I
Boot
am
him.
impressed with all the detail you've done on role playing. That's actually a commendable thing. And in honor of that, I switched from the rum and coke over to this.
Oh, man, you-
Oh, you're going to
Oh.
Cabernet. Yes.
Yes.
We're
This is
running.
now. This is actually an exceptional 5-star wine. So to your efforts, Josh. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm impressed.
Live
Yeah, no,
chat,
just George-
that was a pure
Here goes. Just
that
George,
was
by
a
the way,
pure abuse of power. I like it.
George,
You're welcome.
Did he play? Does George play D&D? I don't know. George is too smart
Come
to play
again,
D&D.
who? Lujack?
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. Should I give Pimp a wrench? Because I think last time I gave Pimp a wrench, that did not end well.
So Charm Person is a first level enchantment.
Oh,
One action
definitely
range,
give
30
a
feet.
wrench
It's
to
Yeah,
Pimp.
you get a wrench.
Candy.
verbal and
Is
Give him a
semantic
wrench and
components.
Sigra.
And
Is that the pimp monk?
Well, would
It
you know
lasts-
anybody want to emulate him? He doesn't have any parody accounts for a reason. Nobody wants to pretend to be him.
I mean, it would be humorous
So Jim,
to see what he did with the wrench.
Oh, we got a picture of a smug mug. No, he's not. It's not pretty. No, he's not. No, that's bad. I got a smug mug picture here. One sec. Oh, Rez got a smug mug. I had mine here. I use it every day.
You
You
attempt
better
to
not be
charm.
putting scotch in that.
You attempt to charm a
My
human.
coffee mug, dude. Use this for coffee.
I seen you do it.
Scotch. What do you think I'm? Do you think I'm uncultured?
I
Jim's
bought
not
you those
messing
for a
around.
reason.
I only use, and I use it for scotch. What do you think I'm drinking?
And he has the cold cubes, so his scotch isn't diluted too. That to me is.
Oh, these are no longer cold.
Hey, everybody! I don't know if you've heard the good news or not, but somebody is on the market.
Oh shit!
Could you give us a clue, possibly? Like a hint.
Who is that?
Look at your
Who
Skype,
is that?
Mickey.
That would be Smitty.
What?
Smitty's mom.
What?
Smitty's mom is
Smitty's
single.
mom is single.
Oh.
So Jim, charm person is you attempt to charm a humanoid you can see within range. You must make a wisdom saving throw and does so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it. If it fails the saving throw, it is charmed by you until the spell ends or until your companions do anything harmful to it. The charmed creature regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you.
Was
Lasts for an
having
hour.
sex
Whoa.
considered harmful?
It depends on
Some people, yes.
Yeah,
You are a
Mickey,
man
yeah.
of science. I'm going on Skype. Don't yell at me. It'll just make me horny.
Look at this. You guys can't see it, but the
It
outside
might be
chat can have
harmful,
see it.
I don't see
in
it.
combat.
You won't be able to see it, but if you're watching the
No.
video,
Nobody
that's,
listened to Smitty. Smitty's trying to mislead you. He just wants to keep his mom for himself.
Ooh, what? That's creepy.
I think that needs clarification.
Yeah, that takes a lot of clarification
real.
there.
Well, first come, first serve.
No, it doesn't. Just let the mind wander.
Oh, really?
Oh, there's no wondering. Don't
Maybe he's trying to
worry.
hook you up with his mom.
Don't say that, Jay.
I'm
Don't say
gonna have
that.
to take off now, though, guys.
I have
Bye,
a
Josh.
very deranged mind.
Happy
Bye,
Halloween.
Chad.
Yeah.
My drink's empty, but cheers anyway.
Bye.
Or
Okay.
if it's true that she isn't single anymore, then it's because my marketing skills are genius.
Mm.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head out too. So you
How?
have to drink.
Yeah, we won't be too much longer. I now I'm just kind of curious what Smitty's mom looks like.
Right?
Let
She's
the
single
mind
for a reason,
wander.
Steve.
Okay,
Yeah.
Smitty,
Yeah.
DM Steve a picture of your
My-
mom. He'll pass it around.
I shit you not. My
DM,
mom.
DM me.
hang
a
on.
picture
We'll
of
pass
your
her
mom
around,
Hang
you
on,
say.
hang on. My mom.
and Steve's mom.
My mom is pushing 90. She'll be 90 next month, right? And she told
Damn.
me the
Aw.
one thing no son ever wants to hear from a 90-year-old woman living in a retired community. That she's been propositioned.
She gets laid.
Never wants to hear. Never do I want to hear anything like that again.
I wouldn't want to hear about the
Good thing you
proposition.
told
It's
us.
not the proposition I'd object to. It's hearing whether or not she
I
accepted
don't. I
and the
told her. I
details
know.
of
I
that.
cut down that conversation right there and then.
Hey, from what I hear,
You just hung
retirement
up on her.
communities are pretty dirty.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they get down.
Well, they're
Really?
all past
You know what
menopause,
kinda-
so you don't have to worry about birth control.
Wow, chicka wow.
Oh my
wow.
god! Oh my
That's racist.
god!
Nope.
What
They
I said
never
was
will.
terrible.
Yes.
Oh, what the hell?
Yes, it was.
Nikki's full of shit.
Oh,
Damn.
Cool.
Well, we didn't get a chance to tell any much ghost stories tonight, but that's okay. That's usually what we do on Halloween,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
But-
It's just fun.
By the way, there was a historic event that I would at least acknowledge that happened and pay tribute to Don Burkow, the now former Speaker of the House of Commons of the former United Kingdom, that had his last session there, and he was a delightful person to watch, and particularly if you want to expand your vocabulary, right? In fact, I picked up 7 new words of the week just at listening to the guy tonight. But he was an amazing person. I hope for the former United Kingdom, the next person who's speaker is as half as good as he is. So congratulations on your retirement, sir. And thank you very much for all the amusing stuff from someone who is not a subject of your queen.
And I want to say cheers to the American people for initiating impeachment proceedings against Trump. It happened in his first term, which I said was going to happen. If you guys go back tape, I said it was going to happen in his first term. I said probably toward the middle of the end. It was going to happen in the first 6 months. I remember Aaron Ross said the first 6 months, but I was like, no, toward the end. There you go. So it hasn't happened yet. He hasn't been impeached yet, but the proceedings have started. And you know what? I was against impeachment for the longest time, but eventually got to the point where, like, you know what? There's just no way we can't. So
yeah.
So I by the way, I do remember, Steve, you made that prediction.
Yep.
And you're right. Steve was right about that. So
I love when people say those words.
I was gonna say, don't tell
Steve
him
was
he was
always
right.
right.
It's
Little
an
words.
orgasm
Just
right on the
gonna
show.
jack up his ego.
So Steve, I want to ask you:
You're
do you
right.
think that the impeachment proceeding will turn into an actual formal vote by the House to impeach?
I think eventually, probably the House will vote on it. I think it'll get shot down in the House. I don't think it'll ever get to the Senate. But the fact that we've initiated it just shows that nobody's above the law, and I think that the reason we have impeachment proceedings is something, for exactly along these lines. I think that it's terrible. Here's the thing: like I wasn't for impeachment of Clinton, right? I wasn't my favorite president, but what he did was not considered to me impeachment worthy. Trump has done something that I think is impeachment worthy. When you're working with a
Which
foreign
one
leader
thing
like
would
that,
that be?
I mean, I think that there's a number of things that Trump does, which I think if investigated and found to be true, rather than just
No
He'd be in
way,
jail.
man. No way.
Oh,
There's no
Who
collusion.
did it on the campaign trail?
No, he's done a number of things that if a Democrat president had done it, he would have been impeached in his first 6 months.
Oh, I think you might be right.
done.
Okay. If Obama had done what he did, yeah.
Oh,
Jesus, yeah.
I
So
mean-
wait a minute, though. Why isn't it going to pass the House if there's a Democratic majority in the House?
I think what you mean is that the impeachment will be voted on by the House, and if it goes along party lines, it will succeed. But will the House then
Will it
initiate
pass the Senate?
Will they send it to the Senate? That's
What impeachment is. If they
separate
impeach him in the House, he's impeached. I don't know if they're going to actually impeach him in the House. I mean,
But then-
I think they'll put it out.
I think they need more. I think I think it is to initiate the vote to start the proceedings is only 218 votes they made, but in order to initiate to the Senate, in order to actually impeach, it requires more than that, if I'm not mistaken. But I have to look at the numbers. Misha Griffith would probably know.
Didn't Donald Trump?
Probably the only person in this chat room who was impeached an elected official, tried, convicted the bitch. Let me tell you about the impeachment process, right? The House can vote by majority
right
to impeach the president. Then the House has to vote by majority to select the delegation, which then go to the Senate. The Senate has to agree to receive the delegation from the House, because you can't just walk into the Senate on your own. So they have to agree to receive them, and then the Senate has to agree to hold a trial, at which point that delegation becomes the prosecutors. So my question is, do you think the House will send it over to the Senate in this term, or will they wait?
There's political reasons to do both, I
Republicans
guess. So
Yeah, why not both?
I think Republicans are getting tired of carrying the water for Trump.
Yeah,
I think some are.
Yeah, but there's political
Well, yeah, I
ramifications
mean,
of
there's
doing
always
it.
gonna
Not tired enough.
Yeah, there's a lot of political ramifications. Why do you think Pelosi wanted to hold off for so
problem
long?
is that but the problem is that they have a constituency that demands that they carry that water.
But here's the thing:
you're
I think we all agree.
absolutely
I think
right.
we all do agree that it'll fail in the Senate. If it got to the Senate, he's not going to get removed from office. That's pretty much a zero possibility, I think.
Well, I've heard
No,
people
I
say
think
that
it's going to fail in the Senate, and then he's going to get voted out of office because he's never gotten above a 45%.
Oh yeah, I don't
rate.
think he's going to try to get a second term either. I think he will lose the popular vote too. But that's irrelevant.
But he
The fact
won the
that-
first time.
Well, yeah, but
my
Did
question,
he ask
Yeah.
us?
Well, he lost the popular vote
he
the
lost the
first
popular vote. He
time.
won the
Yeah.
electoral.
I think he's going to be
He won on
impeached,
a
removed, and
technicality.
indicted.
Yeah, he'll be- well,
can I ask this saying, do you think that Trump will
Do you think he'll
try
try?
to get nominated by the Republican Party?
Yeah, and let me tell you why. And I want Landon and Dr. Griffith to weigh in on this. This is personally my opinion, right? I think it is advantageous to Trump, and I think he knows this, for him to stay in office, because it's the day he gets out of office, I think there's an extremely high
He
chance
gets
of him
put
being
in handcuffs.
indicted.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Oh,
And he knows
definitely.
this.
Certainly at the
Yeah.
state level.
Well,
At the
he,
state
he
level,
has to stay
probably
in
at the
office
federal,
in order
dude.
to
Probably
run
at the
out
federal
the
level.
clock
Why
on
did
that.
he just?
Yeah.
By the way, he just moved his residency to Florida.
Yes.
He's running from
Yeah,
New
it's
York.
because that's what won him the last time.
Yeah, because
What?
Florida running 49
I didn't know
delegates, if I remember correctly. Wasn't
So
it?
do you think that the Republican Party will nominate Trump?
Of course.
I suspect. When was the
this
last time
juncture,
they really
yes.
seriously?
Piss them off enough.
If
It's always a possibility.
It would be political suicide for the Republican Party to try and nominate someone else
Yeah,
because their base
Yeah.
is
Right now.
comprised of so many
So
people
much
that are
for
rapidly
Trump.
pro-Trump.
Yeah. Given
Yes,
the
yeah.
political climate right now, they can't just jump ship. Right.
And
So-
when was the last time they did? I mean, they are the party of order ostensibly. I mean, the whole point is they're going to get behind their candidate even if Republicans fall in line, right? Democrats fall in love, Republicans fall in line. They're going to stand behind them. That's how they win. That's
How
their
about
whole
this? How
platform.
about this? I say Dr. Misha Griffith for president. Who stains it?
I'm in.
Yes.
Second.
There you
Yes,
go.
absolutely.
I would
And
vote.
Misha Griffith for
She-
president.
Got my vote.
Damn
Listen,
right.
George Carlin. He's
So then-
dead. He'd still
So
do a
then,
better
do you
job.
think that Trump wins the electoral college if he then,
I
you know,
No.
I can just
No.
see
Wait.
your campaign slogan. It's like the only good time, the only time when history repeating itself is good.
Yeah, I can't see him winning the electoral college because he had so many swing states before. Florida, I remember watching it live, and I was like, if he
Yeah.
wins Florida, he's got it pretty much in the bag. And I remember people even giving me shit
Oh, yeah.
for it, and they're like, "Oh, no bullshit." See, if he had all the other states, I'm like, "No, that is a is a turner right there," because there was 49 delegates for that. But then I think it was like he had like what was it Vermont and New Hampshire and Delaware, and he has all these little small. These were just top dominoes at that point. I think I think these states that were these kind of swing things that had got him elected in the first place. Don't see that happening for a second time at this point.
The problem is that he's never gone up in the polls since his election,
No,
which means that
he started
can
low
only
and he
do
never
worse.
increased. He's
He's only gone down.
He's the only president that started here and is still there.
Yeah, and the thing I love to
Was it
point out when
40%,
I'm arguing with
40%?
people on Fox News fucking Facebook page is that he got 3 million less votes than Hillary fucking Clinton. How do you fucking do that? He is demonstrably less popular than Hillary fucking Clinton.
So was everybody else.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Well, I will say this about Hillary. Hillary is more Teflon than he ever was because there was no I don't think there's hardly any indictments when it came to Benghazi had no indictments. Vince Foster had no indictments that I'm aware of. Whitewater had no indictments that I'm aware of. But I know Benghazi definitely didn't. But he with Trump, everybody around him, there's been like 200 people that have been indicted or charges, or it's like, are you freaking kidding me? Everybody around him has been.
Have you seen the?
It's
Have you
weird.
seen the Daily Show bingo card?
No.
Daily Show puts out a bingo card of all of these people every so often, and my God,
the
they are
indictment,
so close to a bingo.
Oh my
The
god!
indictment bingo card.
Oh, to see who gets indicted.
Yeah. Well, not indicted, just people leaving his cabinet and stuff.
I think one of his sons is going to get indicted at some point.
Well, there's former campaign managers in jail.
His
Well,
sons are
okay.
so dumb and so ugly.
Did you hear what? It wasn't Donald, but the what's his name?
Junior, Donald Jr.
Donald Jr. Did you hear what he was saying when it came to?
Yeah.
They're talking about Joe Biden.
Biden's son?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you watched this stuff too. Wow, I didn't think you followed this stuff. This is kind of cool. I do watch more than I let on. But yeah, he was saying that that if he was Joe Biden, he wishes he was Joe Biden's son because that way he could go and collect money from China and be rich. It's something along those lines. Because I was like,
wow.
Cause his name is Biden, he can do it. But since my name is Trump, if I took $1.50,
not $1 million, but $1, I would be. Yeah, I was like, oh, dude, you're self-awareness.
He just grabs his son by the pussy.
And by the way, Steve.
Hey, one sec.
Sons
Nikki,
so dumb.
you're talking smart. You're turning me on. This is just.
Oh, wow.
Now you
Oh,
figured out.
shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're just now getting turned on?
You are not
Better late than
sexual.
ever.
Oh, Jim's already turned on.
Florida only has 29 electoral.
Better late than late.
I mean,
Switching.
Go ahead, Landa. Sorry.
Yeah, so Florida only has 29. It's the same as New York. And
Was it 29? I thought it was 49.
I think so, right?
Okay.
No, because California is like 72, I want to say, and then
55.
Texas is after
50.
the. Oh, 55. Fuck
Yeah,
me.
55.
Okay.
Texas is 38.
God, I should know this.
50 something. It's yeah. California.
Yeah,
has
and then
quite a-
Texas
quite a
is
big-
after that.
By the way, did Misha Griffith should she take the nomination? Is she going to run? I think she
I didn't
should.
catch it.
I think all she needs to run is money, so.
Wait, you want Ocean to run? Is that what you said?
All she needs is money.
Oh, all she needs is money. I thought he said
Run.
Ocean should run. Like
No, no, no,
Elton
no.
I'm like, really? Ocean Kelter.
I think Misha would rather it was Ocean than her.
As long as we've got enough money, we really can push anyone.
How about this? Nephilim free for president.
Just name the price, man. Name the
I
price.
mean, it would certainly raise
Don't
the IQ of the White House.
Would you vote for Nephilim free over Trump?
I love poorly educated.
Yeah, because
love poorly
what's
educated.
the difference?
Big coin toss.
I mean, except Nephilim free probably knows the Bible a little better than Trump. That's.
I would vote for Trump over
the
Nephilim free. Sorry, I would have to.
The difference is a mushroom shape.
That's just. Let me find something over 10 stories tall and just end this real quick. That's.
We'll play a quick game real quick. Here we go. What do you think Trump's safe word is?
I'm
Huge.
broke.
I'm broke. Most of the things he does is
Stormy.
poker, so yeah.
I'm not.
No. Safe words are things you don't say often.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I think he
Bigly.
would say something.
He would never
like,
say that he's broke.
I think his safe word is Hillary Clinton, but that's just me.
I was going to say
I think his
Hillary.
safe word is
Yeah.
fantastic.
I
No,
bet it's
he says
Ivanka.
saying it
all the
all
time.
over the
His safe
election
word is
together.
Ivanka.
Ivanka.
Amazing.
No, Ivanka's not his safe word.
That's his bottom
No,
bitch.
I'm convinced Ivanka's probably cries out when he's having sex.
Well, then Eric.
For
Might
real.
cry out Eric too.
No,
Have
wait.
you-
What's that? What's the daughter that he never talks
No,
about?
it hasn't been Eric in years.
Oh, I know her. She is such a nice person. The daughter that nobody knows about, I think her name is
I don't even remember.
Tiffany?
yes, yeah, it's Tiffany.
I know
And
Barron's
she
the
is
son.
just the nicest person. She is seriously like she's nothing like the rest of her family. She stays
That's
out
why
of
they do it
drama.
now.
She does her fashion show. She's just really rich, like
Wow.
clearly. But yeah, she's
I
actually
like the rest of Trump's.
yeah, but I honestly think that he either like sold Ivanka to other people for the night, or he himself has molested her.
Well, he
Like,
definitely
Jesus
bought
Christ.
her. I mean,
I think there's some history there. I think there's. I would not be surprised if there was history there that people are unaware of. The way there's a weird disconnect between them two, and
Yeah.
they used to be way too close for father
Is
and
it a
daughter.
connection?
I imagine it had
Frankly,
something
at
to do
this
with
point,
the
I'd be
dressing room and one
surprised.
of his properties that he felt that he was that he was entitled to walk through.
Just
Yes.
saying,
What
I'm
was the
I'm
guy's
just throwing
name
that out
that
there.
Trump said lately?
This is my opinion.
Or
Don't
the-
sue me.
Miss Universe? Which one was it? I think
Yeah,
it-
something like that.
yeah.
Like,
But no,
like underage teenage girls.
Yeah, if you look at these pictures of him and his daughter, like when she
Creepy.
was really young, the
Oh,
way that he
yo,
has
it's-
his
ooh,
placed
it's
her,
cringy.
how close his crotch is to the small of her back, like there is so much that you look at in his body language where he's being
And
very,
the way he
very
talks about her.
invested.
Oh, he sexualized the shit
Oh,
out of her,
Jesus,
whether
yeah.
they did anything or not.
Mhm.
He completely
Well,
sexualized the hell out of
he
her.
said
Well, that's probably-
that if Ivanka wasn't his daughter, that he
Yeah.
would date her.
That's
Yeah,
as
see,
probably
that's
as close as he can get to fucking himself.
Oh
I mean,
Yeah,
think
because
about it.
it-
It's his
it
own
touches
DNA, so
Well, I'm sure Trump
All
has
right, this
all the best safe words.
Oh, come on.
oh
All
hey,
the best ones. I bet none of them are longer than 2 syllables.
No, he knows the biggest safe
Hey.
word. It's the-
Oh!
yeah, I'm broke.
No, I
It
know
might,
his
it might
safe
be
word.
Putin.
No, his safe word is Mueller.
Mueller.
No, he says that all the time.
Not really.
The correct Mueller.
Fucking Mueller.
It's got to be impeachment, actually.
Willy Wally
I-
suggests his safe word is "you're fired."
Again, that's what turns
um,
him on. It's not. It's that's gonna get him revved up. It ain't gonna.
That's an orgasm.
That was
right?
his joke, though.
I don't need safe words. Whenever I want them to stop, I just build a wall.
No collusion.
Oh, you do a
Bring the
fucking
wall,
good
the
drum
wall
set.
at Colorado. That's
Only Jim could make a character.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Bye bye.
How about his safe word is, "Do you take checks?"
Or here you are, paid in full.
Or I'm wrong.
Do I have to read this?
I
have to read
don't
all
think
this?
he would
I
say
can just
that
sign
if
it?
you put a gun to his fucking head.
That's why it would be a safe word.
Because he
what
wouldn't
makes
use it. I'm saying he wouldn't use it.
He would rather
I don't
die,
care what
you know.
somebody's
than,
doing to him. He wouldn't use it. Yeah, it's gonna bleed
Use
out
it.
first.
bleed out.
Yeah.
God
Do you guys
damn, what kind of
remember-
BDSM do you do?
It's like black people living in Trump Tower. You just not happening.
Do you guys remember, during the election, there was someone that suggested that Trump had a humiliation kink and that his dom was making him run for president, which was why he was so fucking incompetent.
Oh, I'm convinced he didn't think he was going to win. I think he was kind of bluffing at first, and then when he realized that he might actually win, so, you know.
Oh, his face when he won.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they were not happy.
5 years of celebrity endorsements before even running. So
Have you
people,
seen?
people were saying Trump for president years before he even considered running for office.
Yeah, but that was kind of a tongue-in-cheek type thing. So, I mean, that was same like Oprah,
Sure,
you
well,
know?
because they were like, "Oh, he's a businessman; he
this
can run
presidency
America," and
is
they didn't even
tongue-in-cheek.
consider like the implications of that.
But again, if you think about you have a leader with a bad hairdo, think about the former United Kingdom. They've got Boris Johnson, right? That the Tories actually selected him.
Yeah.
Well,
as
good to
the
get back to
prime
that
minister.
because, by the way, the Brexit is
Yeah, they
still
had a-
going on.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, I think that's proof that alcoholism in the UK is far more rampant than it gets credit for.
Well, don't they have pubs inside the Houses of Parliament?
Yes, they do. There's a
Yeah,
pub
well,
there.
fuck, there we go.
There you go.
Well,
They
damn.
get drunk, they sit there going, so how are you going to vote for today? Oh,
You know,
no,
by the way,
This
they
is a
have
fucking
some
great idea. Let's get Boris in there. Let's fucking do it.
They
Yeah,
have
let's
some.
have some actual debates. I love that
Amazing.
shit. You know, they just actually they get down and gritty.
Yeah.
yes, they do.
It's a double-edged
I like that.
sword, though, because
So
then you
there's
end
at
up
least-
with Boris Johnson and Brexit.
there are
I
at
like
least
that.
two pubs.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's how we got Trump.
At least
No, no.
There's a bunch
Well,
of drunk
I'm not talking about
motherfuckers
the
in
people. I'm
Florida
talking about
thinking this would
the
be great.
format, the process.
Yeah.
Safe word is collusion.
So you ask, so there's at least two pubs in the House of Commons. One that visitors can go to, and one that's for members only. And the one that visitors goes to, they've got some amazing scotch there. Wow.
I
right?
was
They-
gonna
they-
say, I want to try the scotch they got there.
wow.
Rodent asked
There's
me-
some amazing.
Wait, are you
I'll try
speaking
scotch
from
anywhere.
experience?
It doesn't have to be House of Commons. I'll try a scotch at the fucking funeral home.
Rodent asked, what's your favorite
At the
Halloween or horror
Applebee's?
film? I have a couple. I love The Exorcist,
Oh, man.
and I also like The Final Girls. Have you ever seen that?
Everybody should do that. Everybody should go through with like their top one or two.
Go watch
favorite
Final
horror
Girls. It's a horror comedy movie. It is a cult. It is a most underrated cult classic I've ever seen in my life because nobody had ever heard of the movie called The Final Girls. It's hilarious. It is fucking. It's one of those popcorn things. You want to watch a cool movie?
Yeah.
Hey, go watch The Final Girls. It's a kind of it's a total parody on
Yeah.
like
So-
Halloween and Friday the 13th and all this other stuff. But it's awesome. You seen it?
So for my two, the legitimate horror film is The Shining, and the second
okay.
you have to have a parody, right? Would be Rocky Horror Picture Show.
All right. So let me ask you this.
I
Trivia
gotta
question.
choose a parody.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick.
And yes,
Stanley Kubrick with
I-
Shelley
I
Duvall.
have been a-
Landon.
I
Yeah.
have been a attendant of Rocky Horror.
So have I. So have I.
I've
So
been to
Landon,
the Rocky Horror
Landon,
Show.
How many times did Stanley Kubrick have Shelley Duvall do that scene with Jack Nicholson?
Oh, I know this one. I know this one. I know
It's
this
a,
one.
it's a world record.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Was it?
No, I
what-
know.
Yeah, fuck it. Go on.
Can I answer?
Go ahead.
168.
No, close though.
157.
I think it was 137. I think.
Oh, okay.
But okay, somebody can look at the exact number. I think, but it is a world's record. She was so emotionally drained from that movie because he really ran her into the ground the entire time. He wanted her to be psychotic, the crazy,
Yes.
and scared and paranoid. And she was thinking about quitting. She literally broke her.
Well, and she
157
said
of
that
what
he
again?
did it that many times deliberately too. That was her. She was upset. She was just like he did it just to fuck
She was
with her.
livid. Yeah.
He wanted,
That's
he
a
wanted her
great
to.
director.
That's not the first. That's not the worst thing he did to her. That's just one of many things.
Oh, he did
actually,
psychological
like,
manipulation, sir.
Oh, Nikki is fucking stoked to talk about this.
Yeah, how do you know about this?
Yeah,
Nikki?
she's
This is like before your time. This is
she's getting worked up.
Yeah,
But how Rocky Horror is timeless.
I love Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
is superb.
I didn't know
okay?
Nikki knew about this stuff. I'm actually really impressed.
So please go on, Nikki.
Yeah, Nikki, go ahead.
Go.
Okay, so he left her. So he separated her from the rest of the crew, and for like 6 to 8 months, she was by herself, and she only saw Stanley Kubrick. Whenever she was on screen, he verbally berated her. He drove into the ground. She had more than one mental breakdown on set, and actually had a mental breakdown after she was done with the movie, and it actually like completely ruined her life. If you look at pictures of her now, she doesn't look human. It's
Nikki's been training her whole life for this moment.
Yeah, Nikki sounds
so
Nikki
much
sounds jealous.
So,
I think
so
you
Nikki,
triggered
how
her,
many
Landon.
times have you seen Rocky Horror?
I've seen it
At
about
least a
5
dozen?
times.
At least.
I just discovered it only like 4 years
We used
ago.
to go all the time to
and
midnight matinee. Yeah, we
I-
did the
I
whole
have a
rice thing.
confession.
and-
What's your favorite object to bring to Rocky Horror?
Oh God, it's been so many years. We used to bring rice. We would bring the let's see. Oh my goodness.
I've got
Butter
only
toast.
inappropriate things to
Bird
say.
toast,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna say any.
I have a confession.
It's-
I've never actually seen Rocky Horror Picture Show. I have seen the Rocky Horror Stage Show, and I went dressed as a nun.
Dude, I just saw Rocky so.
Yeah, I didn't get into much of the prop stuff, but I can sing every song. Let's do the
I hear
time
that the
warp
new one-
again.
the new
Let's do
one
it. Steve sings. No, let Steve sing.
really hated it.
Because just a
And
sweet transvestite from Transylvania. I like Curry.
So, I mean-
Tim Curry's God.
Tim Curry.
Oh yeah, he's Curry.
You can't have Halloween without Rocky Horror, right?
No, it's but
I
Rick,
always-
Rick was his stunt man. It was his twin brother.
Yeah, I wouldn't think Landon would be like a cult movie fanatic. Like, how about this? Did you watch Kentucky Fried Chicken, Landon?
Oh, of course.
Kentucky Fried Movie? Yeah. Okay.
Fried movie, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Kentucky Fried Movie. Yeah.
And of course, Dark Star.
I've never even heard of that.
I love Dark. Dude,
Oh, I've
Dark
heard of
Star was
both of those, but I've never seen them.
Dark Star was shit. Who directed that? Don't tell me. From the Abyss. Fuck me.
James
Oh,
Cameron.
Dave Cameron.
Cameron?
Well,
Was it Cameron?
Oh, that yeah.
Was it? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
The
not
Cameron-
into
project that he was
Dark-
working on. Dark Star was brilliant. Open the bomb date doors,
Besides the-
Hal. I mean, not Hal.
besides
Open the
the
bomb date
bomb.
doors. Can't do
Besides
that.
the intelligent bomb, I like basically the alien, right? The little beach ball thing. That's my favorite.
Oh, that was brilliant. The alien beach ball. No, but I mean that movie. No, people don't know have no idea what the hell we're talking about. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, though.
If you have not
that.
seen Dark Star, see Dark Star, because I mean that would be actually appropriate movie for Halloween too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A cheese. It's supposed to be just a project. It actually became a movie, but open the Bombay doors. I can't do that.
I think to this day one of the scariest movies I've ever seen is the original The Thing.
Oh yes.
Was that from the?
Oh,
is
in
that,
fact-
I love that.
is that was
You
it, is
understand-
that the ice? When it comes out of the ice and
Nick.
Yeah,
you
it's an
understand that
alien from a different planet.
When we
It's
go
a series.
down to Antarctica, someone has a thing. We watch the original Thing in Antarctica, right?
Oh my
Because
god,
Nice.
that's
you
just
just
that's
have
just
to do
torture.
it.
do you remember? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember
Like,
the movie Andromeda
we go
Strain?
inside the igloo and we
the
show the thing.
Landon, do you remember the movie the original Andromeda Strain?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
Yes,
That
yes,
that
yes.
movie with there's a colonel in that movie. His name was Raymond Beerai. He was a very kind of a well-known actor back in the day. He started in a show called 222, Room 222, and then the principal, and then he had his own show called Joe's World. But his name was Raymond Beerai. His wife played the leader of the troglodytes on the City of the Clouds for Star Trek. They were literally my next door neighbors in Northridge. I literally learned to swim in that guy's pool.
Let me just pick that name up.
Raymond Beerai. Yeah. So I mean, it was so.
Nice.
I lived in Beverly. Yeah, I lived in a good affluent area growing up.
I'm
Hell
impressed.
yeah.
Then my dad got screwed.
Oh,
I have
Steve
Christian
Brady.
partner. Yeah.
But
Took him for everything.
Do yourself a favor. See Rocky Horror if you haven't. See Dark Star if you haven't.
Dark Star. Oh yeah. I can't remember.
I gotta say,
See the thing.
Go play video games.
Do
But
the
make
thing.
sure you have a really soft
The
pillow.
original, not the remake. The original.
No, the original. Yeah.
It's not. No,
The
it's not
remake
a,
is a
It's not a
prequel.
remake. It's a sequel. It's a sequel.
it's a prequel.
Wait, no.
It's a prequel.
No, it's not because it
Yeah, it
happens after.
No, it happens before. The spoiler alert, but the very end, the fucking alien gets away and turns into a dog and then starts running towards. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
yeah.
it's
it
a
has
sequel.
Mona Ford in it.
I watched.
From,
I watched.
And if you come to Antarctica for a December 2021 solar eclipse thing, we'll have a showing of the thing inside an igloo in Antarctica just
fun.
for,
Wow.
I would love
No
to do
problem
something.
getting
Wouldn't that be
there.
awesome? I hate cold, but just to say I did that.
That's a once in a lifetime thing. You never. I mean,
Yes.
that's something
Nah,
you
what
get
are
to
you
brag
talking
about
about?
to your friends.
That's awesome.
That's every
That's
weekend
something that will
deal.
literally make you with someone. Oh,
You
thank
guys may not remember, but Landon actually called me from an Iridium phone from the South Pole.
Fucking already.
yeah. I tried to jump off and fall off the bottom.
He didn't succeed,
Or
obviously.
the edge.
Oh no.
John Carpenter, thank you. It wasn't Cameron, it was Carpenter.
Oh, it was
There it is.
Carpenter.
Carpenter,
that's right.
yeah.
But Carpenter didn't do the Abyss.
No. Was it? No.
That was. I swear that was
Carpenter
James Cameron.
Cameron did the Abyss. Carpenter
Okay.
did.
Let's just Google
yeah.
it.
John Carpenter. I swear he did The Thing. God
So-
damn it! Now I gotta look these
Yeah,
up.
I gotta tell you, the
we
scotch
have
is actually
now
going to my head.
confirmed that Landon
Yeah,
is a shill
I'm-
for the for NASA because
I
he
had quite a
said
bit of
that he
scotch.
tried to jump off and he didn't fly up. It's actually everybody knows when you jump off you actually fly up. You don't fly down.
Yeah, you throw yourself on the
every
ground and miss.
time I stood on the South Pole, I've tried to jump and fall off, and I've been unable to do so. And you have to test it just to be sure.
That's probably because
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the Navy stopped you from crossing the border of
Penguins
the
with
planet.
AK-47s.
Yeah. All those.
Wait, no,
all those
isn't
thousands of
Antarctica the
cars.
wall?
Yeah, the stealth armada that no one ever saw.
Yes. But anyway, yes. But
Oh.
but come here, come to Antarctica with me, see the thing, look for some meteorites and touch the South Pole.
I wanna
That
touch
sounds like
a
fun.
leopard
I'm down.
and a penguin.
I believe in
Yeah,
flat Earth. Can I come?
I'm too.
Yeah, you
I had-
convinced
I had
me.
the
I'll
option
go.
to get stationed in Antarctica, and
Ooh,
I
yeah.
chose not to.
Oh,
That sounds
Well,
like a wise
I have
choice.
a wife, so I'd rather not spend 6 months trapped inside and just drinking and watching The Thing.
Bring the wheel.
My
I
wife
can't
says.
think of
said
any
Ringu. I
better
haven't
way to
seen-
spend 6 months.
I haven't seen Ringu. I should because The Ring was one of my favorite movies.
Well, now,
And two
now
is good
see,
too.
I have a wife, so for me, going to Antarctica for 6 months is actually like the ideal thing.
You keep saying.
Oh.
Do you realize?
Oh.
We have
wait,
very different relationships.
Nick,
Are you talking about the Japanese version of The Ring,
Nick,
Steve?
Oh, it's
yeah, the
so
Japanese version
good.
of The Ring. Do you realize,
Oh.
Nick? You
Yeah,
Wait,
it
Nick,
is so.
Oh, it is
Nick,
scary as
Nick.
shit.
You remind me of Columbo. You know why?
I know why, because I always talk about my wife.
Yes,
You've seen no
exactly.
evidence of her.
Somebody gets.
I try not
I love
to.
when somebody gets me for a
to
change.
talk about
right?
Nick's
Yeah,
life when I
exactly.
can.
Columbo, you never saw his wife, right? He
Yep.
talks about her like from 2 episodes. They mention her, but you never see her.
Oh, he
No, but
mentions her
she's
every
seen me, and
episode.
that's all I need to know.
But she once she saw. That's why you never see her because she's hanging out with Jim right now. Probably.
Oh, while the chat's on the subject of scary movies, I got to say, my favorite one has to be Event Horizon.
Oh my God, that was
Ooh,
actually,
really?
that was
was
much
good?
Yeah.
more. I thought it was just a thriller. That was much
Oh,
more
it was-
intense than you would have otherwise, and it was good. It was a really
Oh,
good movie.
yeah.
It
Is
was
that
underrated.
Fishburne?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
Wait,
The best
what
part is
about,
how
like,
they
Ghost Ship
mistakenly
or, House of
translate the
Wax?
Latin phrase wrongly a couple of times.
Oh, the
That
Latin
gets the
phrase.
minute
Yeah, that,
anyway.
that one was well done too. The Latin phrase in that.
Landon,
There was a
have you
lot
seen
that
Event
was.
But
Horizon?
not by the crew, though. I mean, they kept getting
Sure,
it
yes.
wrong.
Good.
The Ring.
What about like the non-classics though? Like what about like Ghost Ship or House of Wax?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't do horror. It's not my thing.
I love horror.
I don't do horror. It's not my kind of thing. Says the guy who likes The Exorcist.
Well,
It's
that's
not
a
like
little
my
different. That's
favorite.
paranormal stuff.
That's a
The
classic.
Exorcist is like standard, okay?
Yeah, Exorcist
It's
is one
like
of the scariest
standard
movies I've ever
movie.
seen.
Yeah.
I got kind of a story about the
it's like
Exorcist.
it's like somebody saying, "Yeah, I read books." Oh, what do you read? It's like, "Oh, How to Kill
Harry
a
Potter.
Mockingbird," and it's like, "Okay, you don't read books."
No, my
Well,
my
no,
grandmother.
I mean, it's a good starting point.
And by the way, it was just To Kill a Mockingbird. Harper Lee.
So what was
Right.
the?
That's why I said. That's why I said
Oh,
it.
dude. Oh, I get the joke now. I get it now.
Clever.
I get it.
Well
Scott,
played.
sorry,
Well
Jim.
played.
Well,
Well
yeah,
played.
I
Poltergeist.
Well
think,
played.
that, I think that everybody should take a foray to these different countries' like movies because I think that we watch American movies way too much. I think we need to start watching other countries' movies, especially like Japan.
Korean
Korean
movies.
I would, but they're
Yeah,
always
we
in
need
another
more
language.
subtitles.
Have you
I
seen
heard
Old
rec, as in record, is pretty good, although it's
Yeah, I mean,
Spanish.
there are other things. Like, for example, House of Cards. Watch the British version.
Well,
Much
yeah.
better than the US.
If it's,
Nah,
if it's
language barrier can do that.
I can tell you this right now. I learned more.
Language barrier with the British version? Are you
Yeah.
fucking shitting me?
I never read the original, but I learned more about Mary Shelley's Frankenstein last night than I think that anybody would have learned in a master's level course on it by the Griffiths the other night on the Great Debate Community Channel. Wow, was that?
I'm sorry I missed that. I really
Wow,
wanted
was
to
that
see that.
informative?
I've
I
read
had
it.
no idea about half that shit, and I was like, "This is fucking amazing." Brain food, let me tell you. Yeah, she watched Attack of War and Peace, and I'm like, "Holy
would
crap!"
have to look in other countries for horror shows when you guys can just flick on Fox News anytime.
Well, that's the worst,
Yeah, but-
for me. The scariest horror show I've ever seen was the inauguration of Donald J. Trump.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Really? I think the scariest
No.
horror show I've ever seen is my Twitter timeline.
Okay. I still have a.
It's pretty bad.
I still
But
have a parody movie. to
Steve,
put on.
I'm on your timeline.
Case in point.
Yeah, you're confusing things. It's not the scariest. It's the stupidest.
When you have to read 20 apologies
Why
from,
not
from,
both?
from Nick. I'm not even, he had
Oh, my
like
God.
8 apologies
no,
from
it's
one
one
person.
apology. It's just 20 tweets,
Dude,
dude.
you,
Get it right.
You said I'm sorry like 8 times for somebody. and
Hey,
I-
wait. Sorry is a trademark of Canada. You have to say that.
Yeah, Chesh isn't here anymore. We can't use it.
I have
That's
to
the
say it
word.
each way, or
That
else
is
I get hit
our
by like a
word.
different troll. If I don't say I'm sorry for this, they're like, "Oh, you were essentially saying you're sorry for him taking it
Never say
wrong."
you're
It's like,
sorry,
no.
man. Never
I'm
say
I know
sorry
you're
you
sorry. Now
feel that way.
apologize.
Yeah. Tell Chesh how that works out. Saying I'm sorry, I forgot a question mark.
It's pretty good.
Uh,
I really want to like stay on movies because it's the only thing I can speak of. It's the only thing I'm
It's
smart
Halloween.
at.
Was Poltergeist actually that scary? I never saw it. Was Poltergeist that scary?
yes.
No, not really. The coolest thing about Poltergeist is the history in the
The making?
production.
Because they all died.
Those
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
that was big was that it was based on a true story, and then like it was like it wasn't the first, but it was one of the first movies that used a lot of special effects,
Yeah.
like floating stuff and stuff flying through the air and all that.
one of the most fucked up things is that the skeletons in that pool, when they jump out at her, those are
Oh.
actual real skeletons, and the actress did not know they were in there, so that's her real fear. And that's,
Well, that's
Oh,
really
wow.
nice.
yeah.
Did you ever see the, this is not really horror, but did you ever see The Day the Earth Stood Still, Nikki?
Oh, that shit was great.
That's my kind
The
of genre.
older than you.
You start talking about Forbidden Planet.
Is that Keanu Reeves?
He did a remake of it.
No,
Oh,
yeah,
well,
the
that
was
remake
the
was
same.
remake.
Plot
Keanu
twist.
was
I
the
actually
remake was
good.
nowhere near as good.
Yeah,
Netflix
the original.
really did
That's my.
Haunting of Hill
I
House, and that
love
was
old
pretty-
science fiction shit, man. The Day the Earth
Yeah,
Stood
the
Still
original
and
was great.
Forbidden Planet, 1956 with Neil. That was the first color movie that was made in Technichrome. Oh my God, was that movie so freaking amazing? If you haven't seen Forbidden Planet,
and its impact on audience was amazing too because of that.
to this day, it's
What's
still
really
the best
awesome
science
is the
fiction movie I think
Orville.
ever made.
But for impact on the audience, okay, it's got to be War of the Worlds, the original short.
That's not a movie.
Oh, that was a
That's not a
radio
movie,
thing.
Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that had an impact on the audience. That was.
I still have to give my favorite parody horror movie, and I gotta
Yeah.
say it's Idiocracy.
Yeah, Idiocracy is good.
That movie was legitimately fucking terrifying because it's
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, Idiocracy was good.
It's not really a parody, but have you guys seen Idle Hands?
Yes.
Oh God, yes.
That one's good.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, how about Donnie Darko?
God.
Donnie
Take
Darko
the-
was good.
Donnie
Donnie
Darko
Darko
is
is
more
really
like
good.
a psychological thriller, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you gotta learn about. Yeah, Donnie Darko really was like really psychological, and really physics oriented, like
Yeah,
quantum.
that's more in the same. That's in the same category as like Fight Club and stuff like that.
Wasn't a big fan of Fight Club. I know people can kill me, but not my thing.
Me
I used to be, but I watched it recently, and I'm not that impressed with it as I was when I was 15.
Have you seen
The
Primer?
book is so much better.
Did you ever watch Primer?
Chuck-
I haven't
Chuck
seen Primer.
Palahniuk is genius, but Fight Club isn't even his best book. You guys need to read like
Oh,
Rage
Invisible
or
Monsters.
he's got so many good books.
Yeah.
You just said Shutter Island, did you?
But how many of them could be
Yes,
made
that's
into
a good
Go
one.
watch
Yeah.
Primer. It's the best time travel movie ever made.
I really want to watch.
Wasn't it Leonardo DiCaprio? I think that did Shutter Island. Was in Shutter Island.
Leonardo
DiCaprio was.
Who was the other guy though?
I was gonna watch that. Is that good? Shutter Island?
Ruffalo.
Yeah, no, it's actually pretty good.
Ruffalo was the other one.
Ruffalo.
For me, one of the all-time underrated, and I'm not usually a huge fan of that guy who did and what's his name, Kaufman, who did Being John Malkovich, stuff like that, Eternal Sunshine. I'm not a huge fan of him, but Adaptation is a work of genius.
Okay.
And
Adaptation.
if you understand what it was written in, oh my God.
I've tried watching Adaptation twice. I've still got about 30, 40 minutes into it, and I can't go on.
Yeah.
I cannot literally finish that movie. I don't know what it is. I don't like it.
So,
but do you really? Should I push past that?
It's not just what you have to realize is once you get into it, and by the time you get to the end, what I think it helps it realize is, and especially if you find out at the end. So this is a huge spoiler here.
I don't want to spoil.
And they don't say this in the movie. This isn't said in the movie. Yeah. But the brother doesn't exist. Now in the movie,
that
he
would
exists.
Change things.
But the whole point is, and the brother is credited with the movie. The whole movie is about the guy who created the movie trying to reconcile how do I create a movie that's the project I want it to be, but that satisfies Hollywood, the forces that are telling me I have to do it a certain way. How do I reconcile that? And he creates his brother, a fictitious, spectacular Hollywood screenwriter who writes the worst shit, and the two of them write Adaptation together. But it is him struggling with how does he do what he's been asked to do with this book that cannot be done, and how does he reconcile the two?
I couldn't get into the movie. It was not making sense to me.
Yeah.
What about
once you realize the brother is actually credited with the movie, but he never existed.
I'll try pushing past it another time, but click, clack. That's like chess. Wait,
Sorry.
I recognize that keyboard. It sounds like chess, but what is it?
No, you don't.
Free to play? Okay, free to play.
Sorry.
What about Synecdoche, New York? I can't ever say that name right, and I'm drunk. So
what's it called?
Synecdoche, New York. New York.
Schenectady?
Yeah, I think so.
New
York, the one where it's like in a warehouse, and he makes a movie of his life that is a movie about New York, and it's a really long movie, and I watched it like 7 years ago, but it's accredited to be one of the best movies ever made, and I really want to watch it again, but it's like it is like 3 hours long, and it's kind of boring.
I know it's a major mainstream movie and a big Hollywood thing, but I actually really did love Inception. I watched that
Inception
movie
was great.
a dozen times. I love that.
No,
I have a feeling Steve's gonna enjoy it. Have you heard anything about the new Dune movie coming out in 2020?
No, but the first they were the first Dune movie. I saw Dune at a drive-in. Okay.
Yeah, the David Lynch one.
Yeah, the David Lynch one, and so it was. It had a lot different feel to it, right? Didn't know what the fuck was going on, because if you don't read the books, there's no way that movie's going to make sense.
You have no idea what's going on.
I've read the
movie if you
books.
don't
I read
read
the
books.
series, even though it's been a lot of years.
Absolutely.
But when you talk, okay, so I'm pulling this out of my ass here, because you probably read a lot more recent than I have, because I read it back 20 plus years ago. But when I remember in the book, when you had the spice, the melange, which was these sandworms would basically have as an excrement, and what would happen is if you drowned a worm in water, this last breath would come out of it, and they would take that last breath, and if the certain women would take that, and it would turn them into reverend mothers, and they would have those blue eyes and stuff. And then you had Atreides. Atreides. He was the only male that was actually able to take the melange and not die from it. Any male that takes it. Yeah. That I didn't know any of that shit when I saw that movie, and so I'm like, I don't understand what the fuck is going on.
That'll be confusing.
Well,
you have to read the books. The books are incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, the books are fucking
You can tell,
amazing.
by the way, I actually read the books.
Yeah, people tried to make a religion out of the books too, because people wanted Herbert to make a religion, and he's just like, no.
There's actually a real church called Church of the Living Waters, I believe it's called, and it's based upon Stranger Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Real church.
Oh, that's stupid. Oh, but okay. So, the reason why I bring it up is because I just read the cast list on the new Dune movie, And this
turn the
shit's
camera
amazing. Oh god, Josh Brolin is going to be Gurney. Stellan Skarsgård is going to be the Baron. Batista is going to be Raban, and Jason Momoa is going to be Duncan, Idaho.
Yeah, the Baron.
Oh.
I remember the Baron, that greasy, nasty.
Yeah. Oh, and then Javier Bardem is going to be Stilgar.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind watching it now. Now that I actually have read the series, or I didn't read the last book. I don't think I read Dune, Children of Dune, and I don't remember the last one. Was it? It came out a lot later. Yeah. Well, it seems like Incarnations of Immortality. I read the whole series, but then the last one I didn't read because it came out so much later, and I didn't want to read the whole series from the beginning again to catch up because you have to each character.
Well, and it was by his son. The last one was by his son, and for
the love of evil. Then there was something. It was
wrong series.
Yeah.
Did you ever read the Ender's Game books?
Well, no, but I saw the movie. I liked Ender's Game movie.
Yeah.
But have you guys read the Incarnations of Immortality? It's one of the best series of all time. On a Pale Horse, Thanatos, and then it goes to war and Mars, and no, you guys don't remember Incarnations of Immortality?
No.
Oh my God! There you go. We're gonna have to wrap it up soon. Let me leave the audience. You guys want something to read? Go find The Incarnations of Immortality by Robert A. Heinlein. The first book is called On a Pale Horse. It's about Thanatos, the death.
Excellent.
Oh my God! It is so.
You said on a Pale Horse.
Excellent.
Oh, I cannot tell you how much brilliancy goes in that series, and how much the character development, and you feel for these characters.
Heinlein?
Even Satan, you feel for Satan. He's like he's not a great guy, but I mean, he's just doing a job.
He's a pretty good guy. Now.
How many books are in that series?
There's 7, I think, but I didn't read the last one again. When I know who becomes God, and I won't give a spoiler away, but that last book about God, I didn't read, and I probably should one day, but. How about this? So how about this? We have 100 some people watching. All you people go out there, and if you have to read one book that I recommend, read On a Pale Horse. It's not a difficult read. It's not a hard book.
And you
do rum and coke
you really
book night.
enjoy it.
Really?
Yes,
we are
should do a rum and coke book
They're
night.
doing book nights. Misha Griffith's doing book nights. But she wants to do War and Peace by Tolstoy.
We should do a movie night so more people can participate.
We tried that
Just do
before.
game
I
night.
read, I read the On the Pale Horse, and I think what was the other one called? Something about an hourglass.
Yeah, Being an Hourglass. That's what Kronos.
Yeah. Yeah, I read those two. I didn't read the rest of them, but
I
also
like
read
those two. My favorite. I like.
They're cheesy as fuck and don't hold up, but they were kind of good for a chuckle.
With the Tango Skyne was a difficult read. Being a Green Mother was kind of a difficult read. But the Chrome with Kronos and Thanos, I loved. Those were great.
They're turning Stranger in a Strange Land into a TV show.
That'd be interesting.
They're also going to be releasing. I think it's on the Amazon streaming, or it's Hulu, one or the other. But they're doing a new Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series.
How many times could they do that? I like the British version.
Well, maybe well, see, that's the thing. I'm wondering if maybe they'll do it justice proper this time.
I like.
I mean, the British
I read
version was
the books
brilliant for its time.
But did you watch the British series with
Yeah,
Arthur Ford? Ford Prefect.
Anywhere remotely connected to those Adams, he's probably
Martin Freeman.
What, Nikki?
The one with Martin Freeman.
The British version?
Oh,
I don't know how many
that's-
actors, but
that's
the name of the
movie.
characters
That's
was
more
Arthur
recent
Dent
one.
and Ford Prefect.
Oh,
Yeah, Martin Freeman played Arthur Dent.
Oh, okay, I don't remember their.
in the movie.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I love
names.
Martin.
Although I will
I've
say,
always had a
Alan
huge crush
Rickman
on him.
as Marvin was the most brilliant casting for the voice of Marvin.
And yes,
oh my
Sean.
God, he it was unbelievable.
I have
Even
read.
though there was parts of the movie that didn't hold up, Alan Rickman nailed that.
I've read Moon is the Heart's Mistress. I've read Blow Ups Happen. I read.
Rickman is always a win.
If it won back in the day, if it won a Hugel Award, or Nebula Award, I probably read it. I read the Foundation series with Isaac Asimov.
Excellent.
I read the I,
Excellent
Robot series.
books.
I was a
Excellent.
pretty
I haven't
well-read
read that
kid, to
one
be
yet.
honest with you. I'm not. I joke all the time that I say I don't really read. I read a fuck ton of books growing up, but
Yeah, me too. Shit.
and I mean I read them. I mean it wasn't like I just kind of like skimmed through them. Like I remember still today some short stories like remember the Jaunt by
yeah.
was that
I
Richard
brought
Bachman?
that one up to you.
Who wrote that?
No, that was Stephen King.
Yeah, Richard Bachman, but he wrote it as Richard Bachman. That was his alias.
I don't know.
Yeah, Stephen Bachman and Richard Bachman. Richard Bachman and Stephen King are the same person, but I think he wrote it under Richard Bachman. But the jaunt where the kid didn't take the knockout shit and he experiences all the time at once, and his hair goes gray, and oh man, that when I read that, I was like, this is some trippy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I brought that up on your Facebook page like a month or two ago or something like that.
I
You were like,
think, I
holy
remember that.
shit. Yeah.
Stephen King has a staggering breadth of work, because when you get into Dark Tower, you get into Stand By Me, of course he did. Shawshank Redemption. He did a lot of
Shawshank Redemption. Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote Shawshank Redemption. That's
yeah, no,
you didn't know that?
Yeah, of course I knew it. I read the book. The guy literally, like, a little bit of time is taking stuff out of his wall to dig a tunnel. I think it had James Mansfield, wasn't it? Who was the pinup? They had a pinup, and I think it was James Mansfield. But he would just like one scoop at a time, and he would just like let it drop down his pants leg and to try to escape.
Well, back to movies real quick. One of the best movies, apparently to come out this year is going to be The Lighthouse. And I'm about to go see it sometime
I don't know
this
what that
week. It's Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, and it's literally they're the only two people, and they're stuck in like a lighthouse, and the entire movie is just them going insane inside of a lighthouse, and it was shown in a Toronto Film Festival, like the big one. And it got a resounding, like, everybody loved it. Apparently it is just a phenomenal movie with like layers and depth. And apparently it's supposed to be better than Joker, and I really, really like Joker.
Did you watch the movie where they were it was two people, they were in a spaceship. It was similar, not a lighthouse, but they were in a spaceship instead.
Yeah. Jesus, I forget
what was that called?
Passengers?
No.
It
was humor kind of thing. But it was really good. I got it. I got enjoyment watching it. It doesn't to me. I think a movie's good if I just enjoy watching it. That's all. What was that called?
I think it's just how
shallow is that?
Yeah, no, really,
What
right?
was the one that was? It came so close to being really good. I thought it was pretty good. It could have been spectacular, but it just didn't nail it for me. He works on the moon. He's all by himself. I think it's called Moon, actually.
Yeah, yeah, he's only him in the space station. He's a helium production.
He's on a space station. He's managing it, and then he encounters himself.
Yeah, I you know what? I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was okay. It could have been better, but
that's what I'm. Yeah, it was
so
pretty good. But
so many movies.
Yeah,
it was just there was something about it. It was just like, how did it not stick the landing? It just didn't do it.
What did you think of Transcendence?
Transcendence?
It sounds familiar, but
I love that.
AI?
Was that the one she becomes a computer?
I loved it.
She becomes an oily black viscous computer. Is that one?
Yeah, like he gets downloaded into a computer or something.
No.
I
remember
that.
The really hot chick becomes like the AI.
That's
Weird Science.
Sentience or something? I don't remember.
It's with
That's in Portal 2.
Yeah. But I can't remember. I when I start drinking scotch, the brain goes to shit.
Oh, I know what you're talking about because they're named after.
But I'm like 2 strong those in. So.
Oh, I'm pretty toasty right now.
I switched to the wine, and that was probably a bad idea.
Maybe you'll take your shirt off if you get another drink in.
Probably not.
Jovovich can really act. It's amazing how good she is. She doesn't get a lot of these great roles, but she's unbelievable. In The Messenger, she was unbelievable. And as short as his role was, Dustin Hoffman was spectacular in that too. At the very end, she's like, "I found a sword." No, that was a sword in a field.
Do you like Resident
Evil? It was
Evil?
just like,
well, yeah. What was it? Who are you to even think you could possibly know the difference between good and evil?
Good and evil. Oh my God,
that was good stuff.
And when the Inquisition, it actually wasn't she was being interrogated. And this was one of the things there was like every question she was given, there was no way to answer without her getting killed. They asked her, "Are you a prophet from God?" If she says yes, it's blasphemy. They kill her. If she says no, then everything she's done is illegal. They kill her. There's no answer. And then she gives, "I cannot answer that question. That's for God to answer." And they're like, shit. They're like, and they're just nothing they can do. Everything rolls off her. It's insane. It was really well done.
What movie is this?
The Messenger.
The Messenger.
The Messenger. Okay.
Yeah, with Jovovich.
Yeah, Helios 5.
She was also in Fifth.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Fifth Element.
Go ahead.
She was also in Fifth Element, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah, with Bruce Willis.
Yep.
Quit apologizing.
Oh,
Did
is
you-
that the main chick, the redhead?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
By the way,
I like her.
if you guys haven't seen the show The Messengers, check that out. That's a good show. Sidetrack. I think it's come back for season 2. Have you guys ever heard of the show The Messengers?
I have heard of it.
No.
I know it got canceled. Oh
the
my god, it did get
apocalyptic
canceled.
one?
Yeah, the Messengers got canceled. The Messengers have
I
this.
couldn't do it.
Satan falls to Earth, and they have to list these messengers to try to go after him. It was weird. Helios 575, $5. My book recommendation: S.M. Sterling series, The Change. First book, Dies in the Fire. Okay, S.M. Sterling's.
I'm not usually one for like horror genre movies or series, but Netflix did The Haunting of Hill House, and it's actually reasonably good.
Ah, yes. Dude, there is so much hidden in every frame of that stinking show. You can literally, take out, 150 different frames, and there's a ghost in the background doing something weird. That movie is so good. Oh, my God. Even Stephen King... Yeah, even Stephen King said that he was incredibly impressed by it. Even though they took his story, took his idea, and then changed it.
What was the movie called?
The way they framed everything, it's
phenomenal.
It's well done.
It's a series.
What was it? What was it?
Yes.
It's The Haunting of Hill House.
It's a series.
Never heard of it.
It's on Netflix.
I refuse to watch movies.
Series. And
I refuse to watch.
I don't like ghost movies and stuff. I don't know. I have a hard time with the suspension of disbelief for
love
that
it.
kind of thing. So they usually are just
love
sort of but this was filmed well enough, and the story was told well enough that it's pretty good.
Yeah, I cried so hard on episode. What was it? 7? Was it 6 or 7?
I've never seen Nikki this excited.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
animated.
ready. That's all I do. Shut the fuck up, Smitty. I will kill you.
I'm not watching any more movies until they turn Mass Effect into a movie. They keep saying they're going to.
I'd watch
they
that.
haven't. I'm gonna kill someone.
Do you think I should play Andromeda?
No, I couldn't finish it. You know what?
Good.
It had some decent. The acting was terrible. The characters couldn't walk straight. The scenes. There was nothing emotionally invested in anybody.
I'm so glad you said that because I really don't want to bother with it, to be honest with you.
No.
I love Mass Effect 2, by the way. Mass Effect 2.
I did maybe 5 hours into that game, and I had to put it down.
But you played Mass Effect 2, right?
Yeah.
That game is brilliant.
Mass Effect 2 is good.
Steve, we're still supposed to be doing
Mass Effect 2
Borderlands
is not that good, actually.
Dude, I've got Borderlands 2 ready to go. I said the other day I was going to watch it or watch porn. I didn't play Borderlands 2, so...
that's fair.
I just hear all these excuses, and I don't see you playing the video games. So if you could doing some let's play.
I played Divine.
That would be super awesome.
I play Original Sin, Divinity 2. I play Sleeping Dogs. I'm waiting for Cyberpunk 2077 because I have that, but it's not out yet.
Well, we're all waiting for that.
Yeah, I finished Portal 2.
I just finished Borderlands 3, so.
No, Smitty.
I will get it. See, my thing with Borderlands 2 is this. Let me ask you guys this. Should I play Borderlands 2 to kind of figure out how to play it first, or should I just stream it and go blind?
Go in blind.
Really?
It's not going to matter either way, really. You'll figure it out.
All right.
Did you say you're going to play Skyrim too, or something? What was it?
I've never finished
If you're
Skyrim.
going to stream a game, part of the charm and fun of watching someone stream it is to see them figuring it out.
Yeah.
I don't like looking like an idiot. I mean, I don't really care anyway. Watch me go play
the thing, Dave.
Like Counter-Strike Global Ops, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. It's fine.
I want to see you.
Still gotta play the Witness.
I want to see you get attacked by a bunch of psychos and midgets and be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Are they NPCs or actual players?
I really just want to watch Steve do like a good versus bad playthrough on a game. I just want to see where his alignment carries him.
I want to preferably something with karma.
Have you played The Witcher 3, Steve?
Oh, Witcher 3 is like my all-time favorite game.
Oh, Okay,
It's
good.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, I can't beat. You know what? I've been stuck at the genie. I can't beat the genie. Why can't I beat the genie? I'm on the
I haven't
ship.
finished it. I'm up to level.
Use potion,
I
probably.
have it on.
Use
I have
potion,
another computer, and I have it on
I
that
have
computer.
potions. I've been using. The genie, every time the genie basically one-shots me, I can hide behind the mast and maybe miss the first shot. I take a couple whacks at him. I run and hide again, but before I get behind the mast...
Is that... Okay, wait. Is that... Okay, because I just... Hang on. I just...
It's the Jinn, not genie.
Hang on.
Yeah, it's the Jinn. I'm sorry. My bad.
I just literally... okay, the last time I played Witcher 3, because I have it on the computer, I got to set up to finish it. But you know the part where you're basically going into the islands, and it tells you... After this point, you can no longer finish any quest.
Yeah.
I'm at that point. I just finished that.
Right when you get to a certain somebody. I'm not gonna spoil it.
But
I fucking love that game. They're making a Netflix series. Because
oh yes, they are.
I know they are.
The game
Superman
is.
Yeah, I know they make
the Superman guy. Who's the actor? Cavill is playing Geralt.
Are you playing with a fucking knife over there?
No.
Geralt, not Geralt. And
Geralt.
the Superman is not the problem in the show. Everyone else is.
Yeah, they kind of.
They're, they're really trying to be very inclusive.
Yeah, the typecasting or the casting they did was really bizarre, from what I understand.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't need you to like give me sass about it. I just need you to just enjoy it. I don't know.
I just don't want you to cut yourself.
Yeah. So what I want to know is, would you rather take Triss or Yennefer?
Triss.
Well,
Triss.
Really?
Triss.
Yennefer's a sex
Well,
pot.
both.
Yennefer.
Yennefer.
Yeah, Yennefer. I don't like her attitude, but Yennefer still wins.
Oh, yeah, but hands down.
Yennefer makes sense, but I like Triss better. Triss has such a better heart. Like Yennefer is letting all of this hatred and shit towards her. She's letting it affect her, and she can't do that. And
well, to be fair,
is so gentle and sweet.
Wow,
to
she's
Geralt.
actually thought this shit through.
For real, I always choose Triss.
Nikki, you're not just a set of tits. What the hell's going on here?
Triss is nice to Geralt because Triss is into Geralt and Geralt is into Yennefer, unfortunately. So there's the horrible triangle.
I think that with Geralt's past and with who he is as a person and how he's been treated his entire life, I think he needs somebody who's going to take care of him emotionally. I think he deserves somebody who's super nice to him. And I think Yennefer is too sarcastic and mean, and
That's why I like them together.
But see, Yennefer is hot.
Yeah.
Geralt to be with somebody who truly cares about him and says that she loves him and all this other stuff.
But listen,
okay, so
Yennefer is hot.
Yeah, very hot. Well, Triss is too, but Triss gets around. I mean, yeah, I think Yennefer and her. Yeah, Yennefer's my choice.
Somebody tell me from the books, what on earth did Geralt say to the Jinn to get him to release them? He said something. What was it he said?
If
What
I
was
remember that from 15
Well,
years ago.
they wouldn't say, and I think somebody said they had figured out what it had to be, but it had to be something about Yennefer.
When the hell do you have find time to play games,
They
Nick?
don't.
She was trying to capture the Jinn, but
All I do is play games.
Yeah, but you
and
don't
watch
play Witcher
games.
3? You said you played the game.
Oh, I played that too. I'm just getting my ass kicked by the Jinn.
That's in the.
When the hell do you have time to play the game, though?
I haven't in a month. No,
I
I
haven't played that game
6
in
months.
forever. I haven't finished it. I need to.
I definitely do not remember, but I'm sure you can just Google it.
I can't find. I'll look.
How did
for
we
it.
go? How the hell did we have so many topics tonight? Wow, did we go all over the place?
Drinking
we're
probably.
what, 2.5 hours?
Yeah, you have an eclectic following. So
Yeah. All right, we gotta wrap it up, guys. It's getting late.
I mean, we are right now probably 95% way through the show.
Yep. No, we're about
only 95.
You could be the.
We're
you could
definitely
take
2.5 hours through the show.
So, guys, I'm done. I'm spent. I'm gonna finish off with a little. I got my scotch, and by the way, I drank a lot more scotch than I had planned on. This is good. So
Good.
thank you for that, God's Auditor, the Glenlivet 12. I can tell it's good. You know what I like the Johnny Walker Black. Don't get me wrong, but I sip that. This I actually drink.
I tried some double black. recently.
It's like it's just
That
good
was good.
stuff. But yeah,
Figured you'd like it, man.
yeah, it's very smooth.
Oh yeah, I love it. I bought some for a party like a couple of weeks ago, and I'd intended to like bring it out for some of the really good friends and stuff, and have a little bit, and then like have half a bottle later. That shit was gone in like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's
By the way,
if
I like
you want to taste, you want to drink it. You just want to keep sipping it. Yeah.
you're is it the 12-year or 14-year that
This
you
is
have?
12-year.
Yeah, I like that. I like the 12 better than like the 14 or the 20. I think it's a better.
I have half a bottle of the Glenlivet 18 somewhere, and I haven't busted it out in a while. It was my 30th birthday present to myself.
Yeah. But my favorite of the sets is the Lagavulin. I like the Lagavulin.
I still haven't tried it.
Yeah. Most people will say it like the way Ron says it in Parks and Rec. I really want to try some Lagavulin now that I know that it's real.
I had some Akantoshin not so long ago. It was all right.
And again, I would recommend the 12. Lagavulin 12 is a pretty good one. So.
I said
Anyway.
Suntory. After I tried that, it's Japanese. You think, how on earth could Japanese make good whiskey?
They have
I was never gonna.
Yes, Japanese are
They
good
read the
at it.
recipe.
They are.
They read the recipe probably.
They know what they're doing.
They're good at cooking. They're
I've
good
had
at
soju.
fucking art. They're good
But
at
Japanese
games.
whiskeys, there's some made.
Anyways, hey, so
Steve's
Landon,
trying to wrap it up.
yeah, just let Landon know. I know Landon probably wanted to do something on Saturday. I can't, but we're going to be doing some DEF CON 1 science stuff again. We also have Dr. John Kroon that wants to do some astrophotography stuff. But Landon, do you know what I have on this Saturday? And you're going to hate me for it. Please don't, just don't disown me. But we have Rick Delano, who's a geocentrist, who's going to be coming on, and he's the one that was a screenwriter for the movie The Principal. I don't know if you remember him, but I have a geocentrist coming on, and I would you're welcome to join us, by the way, if you're available. But you're probably gonna lose your mind. He's a nice guy, but he's very infuriating as far as this geocentrism shit. So
How far away from flat
we're not
Earth
having
is he?
the guy with the
we are doing it tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern, so 5:30 my time.
8:30 Eastern. But are we still on board for the one that was talking about for Saturday afternoon, or
Yeah, no, I think we're gonna have to postpone that. I don't think John's
Okay.
available, but I just want people to know we haven't forgotten about it. I really want to do that episode, and we got some other hopefully DEF CON 1 science stuff we're gonna be doing. God, do you look like the white version of Stevie Wonder right now? That is me. He's just like doing his head. I'm like, what the hell? I'm waiting for him to break out, and I just called to say I love you.
I love you.
Anyways, that was weird.
Wow.
To say I care.
I'm telling you, Scotch.
Landon,
All
bust
right,
mindful
Landon,
copyright
show your
claims
shit
are
out, my
watching.
friend. Anything you got to say?
Subscribe.
Well, I say please become a Patreon of this fine gentleman.
I would appreciate
subscribe. And please, Steve, be a more than just a YouTube.
I know I got to
emitter.
branch out more. Well, hopefully I'll get the podcast back, and so I can do a lot more stuff in there. Here, I put in the.
But even you just simulcast your shows, right? Because people could listen to them.
Do they? Do you think they would?
Yeah.
Effing corner.
I mean, why do they need to see us?
Because you're so pretty.
Absolutely.
Because he's got Cheshire.
Have you seen
on.
Cheshire?
Steve is so pretty.
Do you think I have Cheshire as a co-host because of her mind? What's wrong with you?
Oh,
Rude.
Okay.
But
Rude.
the podcast has a
Take that back.
Oh, she's still
Steve.
listening. Sorry.
Take it back now.
Yeah, she's still in the chat. She's gonna have some shit to say to you.
No, what
I
if
mean,
she's
the
been like
podcast
going?
has pictures.
She's been on
Use that
DP
for-
and other channels. Yeah.
Seriously.
He's
Yeah, I showed
drunk,
myself
Chad.
out.
She's drunk.
My Patreon is right there in the live chat. I appreciate it. By the way, every Patreon I do talk. I everyone matters to me. I appreciate it. And people can say, well, why were you so mad at one Patreon? Well, people know the reason behind that. Just because you're a Patreon, you don't get to buy my content. It doesn't work that way. You don't get to harass my friends. But anyways, guys, thank you very much. This was enjoyable.
95% of your patrons you like.
Yeah. There's a few 5%. I tell you what. There's 5% that I don't. We'll let them figure it out. Who they are? No, I'm kidding. I love them all. Yeah, let them argue
Yeah.
amongst themselves.
You gotta
Did you
buy
actually
a
take
down
Patreon
Patreon?
to harass his friends.
I have never, until recently, never had a problem with Patreon, but I would say that every one of my Patreons, I think are just amazing. I talk to them frequently. They message me. I try to help them out. So yeah. Anyways,
By the way, also a shout out to Milwaukee Atheists. Subscribe to them; they do good stuff. Shout out to, of course, In Time and those folks, and shout out to Pimp Monk.
Thank you.
Oh, those jokes about in time don't know what they're doing.
All right, so like I said, Saturday we have Rick Delano, and then we have Caffeine Corner episode coming up. We got a few things planned. I'm not going to get into the discussion about what it's going to be, but it's going to be probably pretty lit because, well, reasons. So, anyways, guys, enjoy your Halloween. Be safe. Don't overeat on candy, and we will see you this weekend. Good night.
Ciao.
Night.
Mahalo.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.